Township.
It's gotta be a Matt Black Kia.
24 months leases, $59.99 due at sight. Call 888-506-4132 for details. Offers don't combine. Expires month end.
Home of the Philadelphia Eagles.
They got him again!
Sixers.
Bang! It's good! Ball game!
And Flyers.
Tipped in front of the net!
97.3 ESPN. WENJ. WENJ HD. Millville, Atlantic City. A Town Square media station serving all of South Jersey.
Finally!
This is Hanging with Hennig.
I have friends everywhere.
On 97.3 ESPN Radio, South Jersey.
In New Jersey. Am I right? Yeah.
Live feed on the 97.3 ESPN mobile app, powered by First Bank of Sea Isle City.
It seems to run on some form of electricity. Well, you're not wrong.
Streaming live on YouTube, Instagram, and the X platform.
The internet is a communications tool used the world over where people can come together.
Now, here's your host.
He's not gone. That's the whole point. He's never gone.
Josh Hennig.
Josh Hennig broadcasting live from Hangtime Bar and Grill in Galloway, 97.3 ESPN FM, the 97.3 ESPN mobile app powered by First Bank. To see how we are streaming live on YouTube and X at Josh Hennig. And yes, it is the first weekend of March Madness. And of course, it wouldn't be a weekend of March Madness if I didn't have Mike Carlin here with me to talk some basketball. This is your time of year, Mike.
Best
Carlin.
time of year. Is there another time of year that's better than this?
Well, you love this stuff. You live for this.
Just think, for the next 3 weeks, we're talking basketball literally almost every day.
Well, for you, it's like 5 weeks because you were basically living at the MAC tournament a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, Atlantic City knows me by name by now.
They do. Well, listen, we are at a great place today, Hangtime Bar and Grill. You've been hearing me talk about it each week here on 97.3 ESPN. And we are joined by Patricia Rifici, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Patricia.
Patricia.
Close, though.
I'm trying here. Okay?
It's all right.
But Patricia, I'm so glad you have us here today. So glad to be here because this is the first weekend of March Madness. This is the perfect place to be because you guys got more TVs than people would ever need to watch the tournament.
Yes, there is a lot of options. Thank you for being here. We're so excited to have you. We're very excited for March Madness. The TVs are great. We have a lot of great specials. And we just opened an outdoor seating area as well that has another 10 TVs for private events or just enjoying being outside once the weather breaks a little bit more. So we literally just opened that a couple weeks ago, so we're super excited about that.
What do you hold here? Like when this place is packed, is this like 50 people, 100 people? Chairs,
100.
I mean, the bar looks huge.
Yeah. So there's 30 seats at the bar, and then we have the 10 high tops around the bar. And outside holds a good 40, and then we have the dining room that can comfortably seat another 50. So whatever that math is.
Why I'm getting that is that you could have large parties come here.
Oh, yeah.
It's not singles or doubles, all that. You could have a large party come. I mean, this is a great atmosphere. If you're a sports fan, if you're any kind of fan, and then talk to us about the food that you're serving here.
So, of course, we're a sports bar, and we love to promote that, but we're foodies through and through. My brother and I, who he is the co-owner with me, we are big restaurant people. Our parents were in the restaurant business since we were very little, and, we're Italian, so of course we're foodies, but we like to explain to people that it's a sports bar, but it's upscale bar food. Mm-hmm. We have a ton of great sandwiches, burgers, appetizers for everybody to share, super fresh ingredients. But then we have an array of entrees, too, that kind of surprise people. We do daily specials. We have a good happy hour. So we're kind of all over the map. So it's not just wings and burgers, but it's a nice variety that really is able to get everybody something that they enjoy.
And speaking of that variety, of course, during every NCAA tournament game, the app specials are cheesesteak sliders, boneless buffalo chicken bites, loaded waffle fries, spicy cheese curds, jalapeno poppers, and the drink specials, Miller and Bud Light drafts. Also, you can get $14 64-ounce pitchers for those of you who like to make sure you don't have to keep asking the waitress or the bartender 20 million times for a new drink. Also, Tall Tito's vodka cocktails. So you got a ton of options today for all the games. And again, it's not just today. It's also tomorrow in every NCAA tournament game.
Correct.
So I got to ask you, who's your team? Who are you following in this tournament?
Probably Duke.
There you go.
Yeah.
A lot of people like Duke.
Yeah. I like their colors, too.
Colors mean, Josh.
Is that was your pick for the bracket? You
yeah.
The bracket and you just said Duke?
Yeah.
Why not?
I just went with it.
Doesn't matter if they're a Blue Devil. It's just, do you like the blue?
I do. I like the blue.
Nice. Well, listen, we so much appreciate you having us out here today. It's going to be a great weekend of basketball. Of course, again, 12 p.m. to 12 midnight, all the games. People will watch them today and tomorrow right here, Hangtime Bar and Grill. And before we go, remind people about, of course, you guys have DJ Bingo on Wednesdays.
Yes.
And the other events you have during the week.
And we do live music on Tuesdays during happy hour, typically from like 5:30 to 8:30. But our kitchen's also open late. 11:30 during the week, and on the weekends when you're leaving Atlantic City and you need a quick bite, our kitchen's open until midnight. So that's also.
It's a great atmosphere for people who you've driven by and for some reason you haven't pulled in. I'm telling you, you got to stop in this place. There's almost, as crazy as it sounds, it looks like there's almost sometimes more TVs than there are chairs. So no matter what's on TV, I'm sure you can go to the bartenders and say, hey, I want to watch this game or this show. This is the place to be if you're into sports. But if you just want to come and have, like you say, good food and good drinks, and the people that are surrounding and walking in this place, you can just tell by the vibe, this is the place, this is the locals' place. Would
Big
be true to
time.
say that?
Big time, yeah. We're super, super grateful for all of our locals. In September, we'll be here 12 years. So it's the locals that, get us through, and
absolutely.
we're always
all
here
year
for
round.
support.
Yeah, they're here all year round. That's great. Well, it's great. We're glad to be here. And
yeah, I'm so happy you guys are here.
Well, thank you. Thank you for joining us at the top of the show. I know you're busy, so I'll let you get back to the 20 million things you have to do. So.
Thank you, guys.
Absolutely.
Take care.
And again, we are at Hangtime Bar and Grill here in Galloway, right on the White Horse Pike. So if you're driving west, it's on the right-hand side. Or you hit the loop around over there. You can spin back around if you're going from the other direction. And, Mike, we will get into a lot today. We have a lot to get to on the show today here on 97.3 ESPN, the 97.3 ESPN mobile app powered by First Bank of Sea Isle. I think I might have turned down the wrong microphone there. Go ahead, talk, Mike.
I'm here.
Okay, so I turned down the wrong microphone because I realized once you touch that other one. We are streaming live on YouTube as well at Josh Hennig in the Dr. Squatch Virtual Studios. Before we get into the particulars of the last 2 days, Mike, I do want to set it up. So we got the legendary Philadelphia college basketball coach, Fran Dunphy. He will join us coming up later in the show around 12:30. We'll be talking with him on the phone. Also, our Ivy Rehab injury report coming up at 1:25. We have two basketball players we have to discuss with Dr. David Gold. He'll be joining us today. Of course, Ivy Rehab with over 18 locations all around South Jersey for physical therapy and rehabilitation. Obviously, you have the Anthony Edwards injury that is going to greatly affect the Western Conference in the NBA. And
Cunningham for Detroit.
Well, Cunningham's not on the list of injuries, but yes, he is a serious one as well because Detroit might drop out of the 1 seed. But the other injury we'll talk about with Dr. David Gold is the injury to Kenny Gaboga, because Gaboga, for those who don't know, he didn't play in the first game, and he might not play at all this weekend. And they're not expecting him. I mean, if he does play, it'll be like, a game-time decision. But he's dealing with a very complicated injury with his foot because he didn't break a bone, but he has a bruised bone.
Sometimes worse.
So it's a very complicated situation for the young man, and I can't wait to hear what Dr. Gold has to say because we saw that Siena basically was taking it to Duke left and right. I mean, they were getting easy baskets. The Duke's defense had no answers because they were asking Boozer to play center. So we're going to ask Dr. Gold about the status of Gaboda later in the show as well. And you'll hear my conversation with Shawn Merriman. I talked with him this week. Of course, the former All-Pro pass rusher. We'll listen to that at 2:25 today here on Hanging with Hennig, 97.3 ESPN. Text board is open as always. Your thoughts on March Madness, how are your brackets doing? And don't forget, if you come down to Hangtime Bar and Grill, you come down, you say, hey, I came here because I listened on 97.3 ESPN. Make sure you come on out. Show us that you got something. And you know what? We'll give you something. We'll give you a little prize. We got a few prizes to give away. We've got some hats, got some koozies to give away. So come on down, hang out with Hanging with Hennig at Hangtime Bar and Grill on 97.3 ESPN. All right, Mike, let's get into the tournament itself because I think if we've learned anything from the first 2 days, it's the coaches who have the players most prepared are winning these games. And I know this sounds very simplistic, but for me, Mike, I look at it like this. You saw how, like, for example, yesterday, Villanova lost to Utah State. And Kevin Willard can talk about how he's joking or whatever he wants. But the reality is that he and his coaching staff did not have those players prepared. The Utah State head coach, he had them way more prepared. I thought that Wisconsin, them losing the High Point, is an example of a team losing focus. And again, I think a lot of this stuff comes back to coaching because the coach's job is to have the players prepared for these big matchups. I mean, you think St. Louis would be playing Michigan State if they weren't well coached? It's not just the talent, because at this point, everyone's got talent.
I agree. So how I'll talk about this, coaching is a huge part of it, but every coach will also tell you he's got to have players on the court that he represents.
Right.
It comes down to the players. In this tournament, there's players that are being hurt during the games and before this tournament that are affecting the seeds and the way of play. When you're missing, say, a center for a team, your whole defense changes because you're not protecting the rim no more. You're getting more into trapping in the corners and stuff like that. But when you look at who's left on like today and tomorrow playing, all the top coaches are still there.
Right.
No one's knocked out, and there's a reason for that. I think like today's game and tomorrow's games, when you get to round 2, now you're starting to really see some good basketball. And just to give you an idea of like tomorrow's game against St. John's in Kansas.
Yes.
That's the best game of the weekend. That's the best game today and tomorrow by far. When you have two teams like that, and look, and you're talking about coaches, 2 of the best all-time coaches. Okay, I just think the tournament is what it is. A lot of upsets yesterday, Thursday, more upsets than typically. But when you look at when I say my top 10 teams, Arizona, Florida, Michigan, Houston, Illinois really surprised me. Illinois is really good. Iowa State, a team like that, I had literally, we'll talk about it later, but I had them going to the Final Four. Guess what? They're not going to the Final Four now with their best player out. So
no, absolutely not.
It doesn't matter how good the coaching is. When you lose your best player, you're pretty much done. They may get through today or tomorrow and win, but they're not going to move forward after that. When they really start seeing the real competition rises to the top.
Hang with Hennig, broadcasting live from Hangtime Bar and Grill on 97.3 ESPN. You mentioned about the players who are injured. How about the players who are healthy? Let's talk about, for example, we have Michigan, St. Louis on in front of us right now. Michigan is very fortunate that they are healthier than a lot of other teams. And I think that healthiness is probably going to help them because you look at the teams that are in their bracket, on their side of the bracket, there's a lot of teams that are banged up right now.
Well, yeah. If I had to ask you what did you think the strongest bracket was, what would you say? I mean, for me, it was the East by far.
The one with Duke in it.
Yeah.
Duke's bracket.
Yeah. I mean, when you look at teams that went and won national championship, I mean, you're talking about in the East, you have 5 teams just in that one bracket that have won the national championship recently. When you have teams like UCLA, and St. I mean, it's unbelievable. They have 5. The bracket, the South has 3. The West has 3, and the Midwest has 3. The East bracket is by far the strongest bracket. You come out of the East, you're going to be set going into the Final Four.
By the way, we do know there's a bit of a sound issue, so we are trying to troubleshoot it here at Hangtime Bar. So the radio audience, please hang with us as we try to work through whatever this sound that just came through all of a sudden. But Mike, to your point about the brackets, Duke, I think, is in a very dangerous situation because TCU plays a very good style of defense. And unless Gabota is going to come back, which I doubt that he is this weekend, how are you going to offset a team like TCU that is so good at playing a style of defense that really is, I mean, I'm not going to say they're the most disruptive, but I think it's fair to say they're one of the most disruptive, right?
Absolutely. And, anybody who watched Duke play the other night, I mean, them being the number 1 team in the whole tournament, okay, that's one thing. But when you saw how they played without them being hurt the way they are, they're missing some key players, and not just all starters, some reserves. You saw what Siena did. Don't get me wrong. Siena's a nice, fine team, but Siena should have never been in that game. And with a couple minutes left, they were still in the game. That right there told me Duke's not going to go far. Would I be surprised if TCU beat them today? Absolutely not at all.
when you just mentioned about beating them, who is a team not named Duke that you think is in a lot of trouble?
Iowa State, by far.
Because of Jackson going down?
Yep. Iowa State, I had literally a Final Four team. The way they've been playing throughout the year, especially the last 2-3 weeks. I look at momentum. Teams that are coming in hot, they are so good at all different positions. The guy plays nine players, but when you lose your top player, they can all say next man up kind of thing. That sounds great in the locker room, but when you get on the court, when you're missing your best player, that goes a long way. When there's 2 minutes left in the game, who's going to take that last shot and stuff like that? I think them more than anybody is probably going to be penalized the most by losing a player.
Again, we are here broadcasting live from Hangtime Bar and Grill on the White Horse Pike in Galloway. Josh Hennig along with Mike Carlin, 97.3 ESPN. Alex Bard is producing back in the studio. What do you say to the people, Mike, that look at Arizona and say, yeah, but they haven't done it in so long? Like, what do you say to the people who are like, hey, Arizona, we know that you're good, but you've never done it in a long, long, long time?
I'd say if you know basketball, you know Arizona's really good this year. They've proven this year they're not coming out of a conference you never heard of. They have a player of the year, Big 12, Jaden Bradley. They scored 92 points the other day, and he only had 7. I mean, that tells you what the rest of the team can stick in for him. But also, just note, Tommy Lord's squad, the coach, is shooting 39% from the three.
Right.
Let me tell you, when you come into the tournament and you can shoot like that, you can play with it. You'll be in every game. Every game. But, I mean, I have Arizona winning it all. And I've already got to the bottom. Arizona, to me, is the top team. They got size, they got speed, they got coaching. They have all three things that you need moving forward. If I had to name 2 players so far in this tournament that have stood out for me that I didn't see a lot of, the guy from BYU is now I see why he's the number 1 pick in the draft. I don't think it's Peterson from Kansas. That AJ Dabate, I'm saying it wrong. He is literally unbelievable. 35 points in the last game, unstoppable. He's a typical NBA player, more so to me than a Boozer from Duke. And why I say that is I love guys that are 6'7", 6'8", tall, thin, that can run the floor, can rebound, go to length of the court, shoot a three-pointer, play inside. He literally does everything. And if I'm looking for a guard, the guy from Arkansas, Josh, Acuff,
yeah,
is unbelievable. He's a top 3 pick.
I will say, though, that Calipari's done a great job of putting the talent around Acuff. I think that helps as well.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's not just, like, one of the problem with AJ Diabate and the reason why BYU lost to Texas was because no one else did anything.
No one else. Right.
There was nobody else on the team. So it's like, how are you supposed to be a successful basketball player and team if it's just one man and nobody else? Like, it's cute when we talk about Mike, like, oh, he's a first-round draft pick. Oh, he's going to be in the first round of the draft. He's going to be great. And it's like, yeah, well, that sounds good, but guess what? It don't matter. You know why it doesn't matter? Because if the rest of your players around you don't – it's the same with any sport. No individual can win a team sport by themselves. And we got to stop acting like, well, this one guy. Well, that one guy is not enough on his own.
So, John's doing a great job with Acuff. He's getting them ready for the NBA. Because there were times in that game, Josh, where he was playing as a team player, setting up, calling plays.
Right.
When the game was on the line, guess what? It was one-on-one. He was making the moves on his own. That's what you have to be able to do in the NBA. You've got to be able to make your own moves when you get the ball. He's showing that he can do that. He can play as a team player, or he can get on my shoulders. I'm taking you to the win here. Those 2 guys, to me, really stood out in this tournament so far.
So who is the team of the guys who've won, like the lower seed teams that in the first round? Like, who's the team that you're taking a closer look at? Like, are you, like, is it a team like High Point? Is it?
I had fun watching Miami of Ohio.
Okay.
Only because they were shooting threes like they were in high school. It was like a high school game. We got nothing to lose, and they had the home field advantage.
But they didn't make it to the next round. I mean the teams that made it to the next round. Like
High Point.
Your VCUs, your High Points.
High Point.
Like, so what is it about High Point that you like?
Speed, height, can shoot, Don't know much about their coach, I'll be honest with you. But when you get to this level, I'm sure he's a good coach. But they literally can shoot the three, they can rebound, they can run the floor, and he uses his bench. I like teams that use their bench. There's teams that have been winning these games that play 5-6 guys, Josh.
Yep.
As you go further, whether you get tired, whether you get in foul trouble, you play better teams, you got to have a bench to be able to move forward with. And High Point's got that. And I think they're also one of those, they're coming out with almost like a chip on the shoulder.
Yes.
Teams like coming out saying, no one's even talking about us, and they should be.
They're not talking.
So High Point would be a team. VCU, too. VCU, an old, Phil Martelli's kid, doing a great job there. I saw him in the stands behind the bench. He has that team believing. As long as you believe in this tournament for the next 2 weeks, you can beat anybody. And it shows, especially if you can shoot the three. The three is changing the whole game when it comes to this time of year.
He's Mike Carlin. I'm Josh Hennig, hanging with Hennig, broadcasting live from Hangtime Bar and Grill. 97.3 ESPN. Alex Berardis producing back in the studio. About 10 minutes from now, we will be joined by legendary Philadelphia college basketball coach Fran Dunphy. And I think one of the things we got to ask Coach Dunphy about, Mike, when we get him on, is about these smaller teams. We got, as I mentioned, St. Louis on the TV right now here at Hangtime Bar and Grill. You have teams like the High Points, the VCUs, about the fact that when you have a team, because he's coached some of those teams.
Absolutely.
When he coached at Penn, when he coached at Temple, he wasn't coaching at like the big blue blood, right? He wasn't coaching, Duke or anything like that. So it's a different vibe when you're the team that either one, nobody knows who you are, right? Or two, and like Patrizia said, she picked Duke because of the color. There are people who literally filled out their brackets.
Right. You don't even have to know basketball. You know Duke.
No, but like people fill out their brackets based on colors. Someone might see High Points purple, and they might pick High Point to win a game or two, So it's like, I want to know from Coach Dunphy when we get him on, and I'll ask you now, Mike, because, you did some coaching in your day. Mm-hmm. How do you convey to your guys that we belong? Because, for example, that first round game, Siena versus Duke, Siena was winning about 60% of that game. And even
controlling it at halftime, Josh. They were controlling the game.
And John Shire even mentioned after the game, I got out-coached. Mm-hmm. We did a bad job getting the guys ready. I forget which player they talked to at halftime. It wasn't Lauren Shahadi. It was Tracy Wolfson. Tracy Wolfson talked to one of the players, and he said, yeah, we kind of looked past this game a little bit. We got to get refocused. So, like, when you have a team like Siena, how did someone like Jerry McNamara get those guys so railed up and ready to go?
Winning their tournament, coming out on a high. Also knowing that, again, it comes back to coaching. Yeah. I've been there. I've done it. I've seen this. This is what we need to do. I'm going to have you guys ready.
Yes.
Forget about all the talk about who we're playing. It's one game at a time. We hear that in football. We hear it everywhere. It truly is here. You can't be thinking if we win this, who are we playing next? One game at a time. But he's got that. He had that team believing. And trust me, I would have loved to have been in there at halftime. It would have been like, guys, what did I tell you? We're winning this game. We're better than this team.
Yes.
And that's how all small schools, I call them, are playing in this tournament. It's almost like they have nothing to lose. Let's just go out and have fun. When you're playing having fun, it's a lot different than playing knowing that you have to win and all the pressure's on you every shot you take. And if I miss it, you're running down the court thinking, oh, God, I'm going to hear about this.
Yeah.
Siena players don't play like that. They shoot threes, they miss, they just run down the court.
Right.
But they're going to shoot another three.
All right, before we hit to the breaks, you got to get to Coach Dunphy really quick. Because I want to know from you, is there somebody that is going to be playing today's games, right? Like we got Michigan, St. Louis right now. Is there somebody when they come down to Hangtime Bar and Grill to watch the games today, right? Is there a matchup that, or today or tomorrow, maybe someone can't come down to Hangtime, they can come down tomorrow. Is there a matchup this weekend? Because I know the matchup for me.
I know exactly. There's one game. If you're going to watch one game, you only have time to watch 2 hours of one game today or tomorrow. It's St. John's, Kansas. Forget about the players. It's against the two coaches. Two Hall of Fame coaches are going to be going at it, and it's unheard of that they're going at it in the second round.
So there's the matchup I hoped for that I'm looking forward to.
What's that?
It's going to be every referee's worst nightmare.
Oh, boy.
UCLA, UConn.
UConn, yeah.
That game is going to be Mick Cronin and Dan Hurley losing their doggone minds.
Who will have the most tees in that or get thrown out?
Oh, it's...
Because whoever's losing and they know they're losing, with like a minute or two left, and they think they should have won this game.
Yeah, they're going to Earl Weaver.
They'll be in the locker room before the team will be.
It'll be like remember Earl Weaver back in the day? He would get thrown out of Orioles games just because he was like, I'm done with this game. We're losing.
Yeah.
He's Mike Carlin. I'm Josh Hennig, hanging with Hennig, broadcasting live from Hangtime Bar and Grill, 97.3 ESPN FM, 97.3 ESPN mobile app, powered by First Bank of Seattle. And don't forget, hanging with Hennig at Hangtime Bar and Grill on 97.3 ESPN, being brought to you by Caesars Sportsbook, the only sportsbook app with Caesars rewards. The action's heating up on the court, and there's no better time to start betting like a Caesar. Bet every tournament game, and you can get perks like hotel stays, bonus bets, game tickets, and more. Use my promo code RADIO, DYW, and place your first bet of $1 or more for a chance to double your winnings on your next 10 bets. Open new users in New Jersey who are 21 or older. Max bet $25 for boosted winnings. Max additional winnings, $2,500 per bet. Profit boost tokens expire 14 days after receipt. See Caesars.com/promo for full terms. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. We will talk with the legendary college basketball coach Fran Dunphy next here on Hanging with Hennig. Josh Hennig, Mike Carlin, broadcasting live from Hangtime Bar and Grill, 97.3 ESPN. Looking for a great happy hour or night out with friends and family? Hangtime Bar and Grill, located on the White Horse Pike in Galloway, has live music every Tuesday night, DJ bingo every Wednesday night, and check out their 30 TVs to watch your favorite team play any time of year. Enjoy all the college basketball tournament action in March with food and drink specials at the main bar, or check out their new private back deck patio. Check out Hangtime Bar and Grill on Facebook and Instagram to learn more about their weekly specials and one of the best happy hours in South Jersey. On the White Horse Pike in Galloway at Hangtime Bar and Grill.
Making your home look brand new is what Work of Art Construction can do for you. Ready to remodel your bathroom or have a kitchen makeover? Art Masker has 40 years of experience in construction and knows how to make your home look like a work of art. Want to install a new back deck or invest in a new front door? Just call Art Masker at 609-788-4271 to learn more. Visit Work of Art Construction on Instagram to see how Work of Art Construction can make your home look brand new. Beautify your home with Work of Art. Call him at 609-788-4271 and let them make your home truly a work of art.
Tired of the runaround? Then drive over to Bridgeton Auto Mall, where the savings this month are a slam dunk. We've slashed prices on our massive selection of new and pre-owned vehicles. Whether you need an SUV for the family, a fuel-efficient sedan, or a truck for the job, we've got the perfect deal to help you win big. And our award-winning service department is here for all oil changes, tire rotations, even major repairs. Don't miss your shot. Bridgeton Auto Mall on Pearl Street in Bridgeton, or online at drivebam.com.
Ah, the most beautiful time of year is upon us. Tax season. And Tax Slayer is here to help you file. We guarantee 100% accuracy and your maximum refund. Those are some good numbers. And you can trust me, because I'm a talking calculator. Did I mention Tax Slayer even has support from real US-based humans? If you have any questions along the way, beat the rush and start for free today. Tax Slayer. File fearlessly.
If your bracket doesn't turn you into a millionaire, the New Jersey Lottery's new game, Millionaire for Life, just might. Catch all the college basketball tournament coverage on 97.3 ESPN. Brought to you by the New Jersey Lottery's Millionaire for Life.
Celebrate your love with exceptional quality and major savings.
At Sage Jewelers, now is the time to save big on stunning, natural, and brilliant lab-grown diamonds.
We have the perfect diamond for every style and budget.
Our expert jewelers can custom design the engagement ring you've always imagined.
Visit Sage Jewelers on Tilton Road today, in-store or online at sagejewelers.com.
Sage Jewelers, the ultimate expression of love.
Journey down winding roads to the Piccalilli Inn, a special place in the Pines where time slows, friends meet, and the wings are legendary. Make your family tradition a part of theirs. The Piccalilli Inn, Route 206, Chemung, New Jersey. Visit piccalilli.com.
AI can drive your car and write your kid's essay, but AI won't make sure your home's air conditioning is ready for spring temps. There's nothing artificial about the peace of mind you get with a new cooling system from HomeServe. And having a local expert technician replace your system is quite intelligent. For a limited time, get $1,000 off an AC replacement or $500 off a new heating system. Offer ends April 15th, so schedule today at homeservesj.com.
Service provided by Frank Siderio Jr., Master HVAC R Contractor, license number 19HC0021150. Plumbing by Louis Silkowski. Plumbing license number 36B IO1292700.
Yo, Harvey, Zoe, group selfie.
Ooh, nice new iPhone 17, Drewski.
Let's do a triangle formation. I'm in front.
With a center stage front camera, everyone fits in the shot.
You got it at T-Mobile.
But switching takes forever.
Not anymore. Now you can switch to T-Mobile in just 15 minutes.
Focus, people. Nail your pose.
And you get a new iPhone 17 on them.
No way.
Yes way.
No way.
Yes way, guys. Switch to T-Mobile and get iPhone 17 on us. And right now, we'll pay off your old phone up to $800.
I'm grabbing my phone and switching to T-Mobile right now.
Get back, Harvey. We're taking a... Let's go again, y'all.
With 24 monthly bill credits, finance agreement, 256 gigabytes, $830, eligible trade-in, example iPhone 13 and new qualifying line, $60 plus per month plan with autopay plus taxes and fees. For well-qualified customers, plus tax and $35 device connection charge. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. Contact us. $800 via virtual prepaid card. Card typically takes 15 days after rebate submission, no cash access, and card expires in 6 months. Check out in 15 minutes per line. Visit T-Mobile.com.
Caesars Sportsbook is the only sportsbook app with Caesars Rewards. Bet the tournament action like a Caesar and earn perks on every game, like hotel stays, bonus bets, game tickets, and more. Download the app using promo code RADIO-DYW and place your first bet of $1 or more for a chance to double your winnings on your next 10 bets.
Open to new users in New Jersey who are 21 or older. Max bet of $25 for boosted winnings. Max additional winnings $2,500 per bet. Profit boost tokens expire 14 days after receipt. See Caesars.com/promos for full terms. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Now back to Hanging with Hennig on 97.3 ESPN FM.
I don't want them to gain another yard.
And on the 97.3 ESPN mobile app, powered by First Bank of Sea Isle City.
You blitz all night!
Streaming live on YouTube, Instagram, and the X platform.
Josh Hennig back here at Hangtime Bar and Grill, 97.3 ESPN FM, 97.3 ESPN mobile app, powered by First Bank of Sea Isle City. Don't forget, this is the place you want to be with 30 TVs here at Hangtime Bar and Grill on the White Horse Pike right here in Galloway. Don't forget about their app specials, cheesesteak sliders, boneless buffalo chicken bites, loaded waffle fries, spicy cheese curds, jalapeno poppers, and the drink specials include 350 Miller and Bud Light drafts, $14 64-ounce pitchers. You know, so you don't have to bother the waitress or the bartender 20 million times.
Just give me a big pitcher.
Exactly.
Walk away.
Or you can get the $10 Tall Tito's vodka cocktails. You only can get it during the tournament games right here this month. Hangtime Bar and Grill. That's where we are at here for Hanging with Hennig on 97.3 ESPN. Let's go to the phone line right now. We are being joined by the one and only Mr. Big Five, the Hall of Fame coach himself. Fran Dunphy joins us here on Hanging with Hennig on 97.3 ESPN. Coach, how you doing today? We appreciate you jumping on. And I was telling Mike before you came on, one of the things I really want to ask you about is, we saw a team like Siena come in and take on Duke and completely rock their world in the first round. Right now on our TV screen, we got St. Louis beating Michigan here at Hangtime Bar and Grill. What goes into, as a coach, getting these players who are not the quote-unquote favorites, right? What goes into getting them prepared to take on the big-name teams?
things like that. So there's ways to hang in, and some of these coaches are really adept at doing a great job. Like Gary Merriman plays his zone defense, and it's made a difference in the Duke game. But in the end, Duke wins out because they're just more talented.
Coach, is there a team that you've been watching all year, and now you're in Philadelphia right now, I believe, at the tournament, correct? Yesterday. Yep. Yeah. Yep. So is there, I guess, is there a team, forget about the teams that are like the Dukes and the Arizona, is there a team that you really like watching that could have a chance that maybe someone's not talking about? If you had to name one? The other thing why I have you, because not only as a Big Five coach, but you're well known all over the country as one of the greatest coaches of all time. How is in your mind, how is this NIL going to be, say, 4 or 5 years from now from where it is now? Is it just literally taking over year by year where teams that aren't on what I call the upper cuff are still going to be able, if they can steal a player or two, they're always going to be in it? Or will they have the money? Like I look at schools like where you were at LaSalle and St. Joe's and teams like that. How are they going to have the money to try to get someone like we have a great kid coming out of Philadelphia. How do we get our Philadelphia guys to stay here, kind of thing? Is there a way for that? I believe it.
Now, I don't know how much you can believe all of what you hear, but there's a lot of money out there that's going for this, and I don't know that the school in the middle ground can sustain it. The higher level football schools have a lot of money,
yep.
And people want to support that. But you're asking me the question where we're going to be in 5 years. I think that's the $64,000. Anybody knows. We're in an amazing time in our college athletics life.
Another question for you. So you've been to the tournament numerous times. Penn 9 times, Temple 8. Is there really a big difference, or is there almost no difference at all? When you win your conference and then you go to the big dance, are the lights a little brighter? Like, can you feel it with your team at the day before the game or the day of the game, like, hey, this is different than playing in our conference? Like when a normal person watches these games on TV, it just looks like it's at a totally different level. How do you see that as a coach and your team, and how do you get them ready?
It's a really good question, and you're answering it for yourself. I think, it's totally different. The juice is flowing way higher, way faster. It's hard to slow yourself down, and that's what you work on in these games coming up. You try to practice like 6 against 5, to get the offensive guys to be patient and not shoot shots right away, things of opportunity. You know what? There's no hiding it. It's not like you're going to pull the wool over their eyes. That's not happening. They know because they talk about it all year long, and when you finally get a chance to be in it, the excitement is tremendous. That's what I'd like to see the field expand, to be honest with you, because more kids should be able to see this opportunity. And not only the players, but the fans of the team. It's just so exciting. It's tremendous.
We're talking with longtime coach in the Big Five, Mr. Big Five himself, the Hall of Famer Fran Dunphy, here on Hanging with Hennig on 97.3 ESPN FM. Of course, we are streaming on the 97.3 ESPN mobile app, powered by First Bank of Sea City. Coach, you mentioned about what it means for the players. You know, from your experience, you know, coaching teams like Penn and Temple, when you get to the tournament, you know, what is there like a part of the young people that are like, they don't realize how big it is until they get there? Like, what is that experience from your perspective been like?
It's an amazing atmosphere, and again, you can say all you want to them in preparation, but until they're there in the moment, but they've been trained to slow their minds down a little bit, and slow their bodies down a little bit, because of, you know, the more teams typically are more successful. If you're running around with your head cut off, it's hard to succeed in those moments. So you talk about it a lot. You need to experience it to really get the true sense.
Well, Coach, I just want to let you know from the bottom of my heart, I was telling Josh before we started the show today, with you coming on, I don't use the word gentleman a lot, but I was telling them, you know, when I was at Plymouth White Marsh coaching, you know, we had John Salmons that went to the NBA, Jalen Bond, Chucky Moore was player of the year. We would have one coach after another in our gym all the time from all over the country. You by far, and not just yourself, I'd say only maybe a handful, were always a complete gentleman when you came into the gym and whenever I've seen you at a game. And there's just not many coaches that were at your level that actually act like that. And I just want you to know that it didn't go unnoticed. And I'm one of your biggest fans, and I appreciate you being on the show. And just thank you. Yes. He's got. I bet. Yep.
Well, Coach, again, we appreciate you taking the time to join us here on 97.3 ESPN Radio. Enjoy the rest of the games this weekend, and we hope to talk again soon.
You guys too. This is a fun time of the year. Great to watch you keep playing. All the best to you guys.
Absolutely. Josh,
thank you, Coach. Good to see you. See you soon.
Josh Hennig along with Mike Carlin, Hanging with Hennig, broadcasting live from Hangtime Bar and Grill here on 97.3 ESPN. Of course, as I mentioned, right now Michigan just took the lead back 32-31. So come on down, watch the game. Let's see Jeff from Ocean City sitting over there at the bar. He's hanging with Hennig at Hangtime Bar and Grill here on 97.3 ESPN. Alex Barr is producing back in the studio. Coming up on the other side, we'll check back in on the text board. How are your guys' brackets doing? Your thoughts on the college basketball weekend. And we got to hit on some Eagles news as well, because it's been an interesting week for the Eagles. They made some moves yesterday while I was out and about. Speaking of out and about, Mike, you know, coming up next month, we are going to be starting our craft brew tour in South Jersey on April 11th. We'll be at the Whale Tail Brewing Company down in Cape May Courthouse for Phillies 1 o'clock games. People can come down, watch the Phillies game, Hang with Hennig. We'll also be stopping by Slack Tie Brewing Company again. And I know you were out and about in Cape May County this past week.
Well, I did St. Patty's Day for the first time in North. Everybody always tells me you got to go to North Wildwood. Wildwood. So I finally went down to North Wildwood, and now I see what people are talking about. I mean, I love a great Irish bar. You know, the Irish pub in Atlantic City, you get used to going. I went to Owen's first, which was fabulous. Then I ended up walking into Anglesey, I think I'm saying it right, which was
Anglesey,
which was, you knew it was going to be a fun time before you even walked in because there was a line to get in. It was packed. You heard the music. They had a live band. But the people, Josh, it's all about the people. I walk in there, and if the place holds 100, there were 300 there. I couldn't even get to the bar. There's 2 women at the bar, I believe Lisa and Jen. Couldn't be nicer. Saw that my son and I were waiting for a drink, turned around, hey, can I help you out? Just locals, helping locals. Great time. I just want to say shout out to Len, to Jen and Lisa. Just thanks a lot for your hospitality, and can't wait to see you back there again.
Very cool.
Fun
Anglesey.
time.
Yeah, Anglesey Pub down there in North Wildwood. But again, Hanging with Hennig, we can confirm that we will be at Whaletail Brewing Company on April 11th, and then we'll be at Slack Tie Brewing Company, and we'll be announcing more dates coming up. That's just in April. We got every month we're going to be at a different craft brewery around South Jersey, so make sure you keep it tuned here, the 97.3 ESPN FM, streaming live on YouTube and X, the Dr. Squatch Virtual Studios. Josh Hennig, hanging out with you. Mike Carlin. We are at Hangtime Bar and Grill, where you need to watch with all the 30 TVs. The games are all over the TVs. Everything you want to see, it's on these TVs. And we're hanging out with you on 97.3 ESPN.
Lanier in transition, hits the 3. Now with 5, he drives on Maddox. Right elbow is raised, spins to the foul line. Jumper up, and it rattles in at the buzzer.
Don't miss any of this year's action on the road to the Final Four with Westwood One's exclusive coverage of the men's NCAA Tournament.
Listen to the NCAA Tournament second round action on 97.3 ESPN. Later today, coverage begins at 3 p.m.
Catch all the college basketball tournament coverage on 97.3 ESPN. Brought to you by the New Jersey Lottery's Millionaire for Life.
Tired of cooking and planning all of your meals each and every day? You need Prevail Nutrition to simplify your life. For almost a decade, Prevail Nutrition is a local meal prep company located in South Jersey that allows customers to design their own meal plan. Or you can choose from a wide variety of chef-designed meals on their weekly changing Prevail Selects menu. You can order online for pickup or get free delivery on orders of over $50. Prevail Nutrition delivers to Atlantic and Cumberland counties along with Ocean City. Or you can pick up your meals every Monday and Friday. Learn more about how Prevail Nutrition can simplify your life. Visit their website at prevailnutrition.club. Check out Prevail Nutrition on Facebook and Instagram. Prevail Nutrition is my go-to choice for prepared meals and foods. Order online, like me, at prevailnutrition.club.
For 23 years, we've helped athletes at all levels at Clemic Performance Method, from youth to pros, increase maximum velocity, acceleration, vertical leaps, and general physical preparedness. We offer youth, high school, and pro college classes. Our proven results have earned national recognition from NFL coaches, sponsors, and a feature on ESPN Radio's Sports Science segment. You can contact me directly at 609-742-6190, or as always, visit us on our website, ClemicPerformanceMethod.com.
Tired of the runaround? Then drive over to Bridgeton Auto Mall, where the savings this month are a slam dunk. We've slashed prices on our massive selection of new and pre-owned vehicles. Whether you need an SUV for the family, a fuel-efficient sedan, or a truck for the job, we've got the perfect deal to help you win big. And our award-winning service department is here for all oil changes, tire rotations, even major repairs. Don't miss your shot. Bridgeton Auto Mall on Pearl Street in Bridgeton, or online at drivebam.com.
Sound familiar? At Mattress Firm, we understand there are many problems that can keep you up at night, like snoring, aches and pains, or sleeping hot. Our sleep experts have the unrivaled know-how to match you with a mattress that can help. And now at Mattress Firm, upgrade to a Tempur-Pedic and learn how you can get 3% back plus an instant gift. For the great sleep you deserve, visit Mattress Firm. We make sleep easy. Restrictions apply. See store or website for details.
Progressive knows you think the grass is always greener, like maybe you ride a motorcycle. But today, it's raining. So you wish you had an RV, but if you did, you'd have to listen to some guy parked next to you at a campsite plays acoustic guitar. Now, before you start wishing you had a boat, remember, your brother-in-law would invite himself every weekend.
Permission to come aboard, Captain?
But one thing that is greener is the money you could save when you bundle your RV, boat, or motorcycle with your home or auto with Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and third-party insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
Time for March fun. Fill out your brackets and head to Ventnor Social to catch all the live action of the basketball tournament. Watch every game on 20 big screens. Enjoy game day food specials, wing specials, and cold drafts. While you're there, create your own action and play one of the many video games they have on site in their arcade. Ventnor Social is your basketball headquarters this March. Ventnor Social on Ventnor Avenue. Visit their Facebook page for up-to-date info and specials.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-923-6829 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-923-6829. That's 800-923-6829. What do you have to lose? Call 800-923-6829. Again, 800-923-6829.
Caesars Sportsbook is the only sportsbook app with Caesars rewards. Bet the tournament action like a Caesar and earn perks on every game, like hotel stays, bonus bets, game tickets, and more. Download the app using promo code RADIODYW and place your first bet of $1 or more for a chance to double your winnings on your next 10 bets.
Open to new users in New Jersey who are 21 or older. Max bet of $25 for boosted winnings. Max additional winnings $2,500 per bet. Profit boost tokens expire 14 days after receipt. See Caesars.com/promos for full terms. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
You're hanging with Josh Hennig on 97.3 ESPN FM.
Hey, you know what? There's another name you might know me by. Star-Lord.
And on the 97.3 ESPN mobile app, powered by First Bank of Sea Isle City.
Who? Star-Lord, man. Legendary outlaw.
Streaming live on YouTube, Instagram, and the X platform.
Hanging with Hennig, broadcasting live from Hangtime Bar and Grill here on 97.3 ESPN. Don't forget that, listen, we got the Ivy Rehab injury report, and if you need rehabilitation, Ivy Rehab with over 80 locations around South Jersey offering best-in-class outpatient therapy is the place to go. We will be talking with Dr. David Gold coming up at 1:25 today here on Hanging with Hennig on 97.3 ESPN. As there are some pretty interesting injuries out there, but we will be focusing on Engaba. I am completely botching this guy's name. Today is not a good day for me. I feel like I'm turning into Billy Schwein when it comes to pronouncing people's names here. Maybe I need more sleep. Maybe that's my problem. But the Duke centers who I am talking about. But we'll be getting to him. I should probably pull up my notes, as well as Anthony Edwards, much easier for me to pronounce, from the Timberwolves.
Yeah, man.
So, two serious injuries that are impacting, one impacting the NCAA tournament, one potentially impacting the Western Conference playoff field. Mike, we got some texts coming in on the text board. I want to get to them at 609-403-0973. Shaner in EHC says, Josh, I always go with a few classic blue bloods because they perform in the tournament most of the time. I do several brackets to add a Cinderella or two as well. It does make the NBA, regular season, basketball, and all the other sports for a month somewhat secondary for me. He says, I'm not releasing my pick since it will win as I have money on it. But what do you think about that strategy, Mike, having multiple brackets just to kind of feel things out?
I don't know. A lot of people do. I do one.
Just one?
I do one bracket. Who I really truly believe is going to win games. I always have a couple. I'm so far. I forget how many games there are. What are 6? Did you hear me?
Yeah, I got you.
How many games were there? 16 from Thursday and Friday. I have 3 losses. That's not bad. After the first day Thursday, I had 1 loss, and I had VCU winning. I had High Point winning. You got to pick a couple that you truly think they can win a game, but for the most part, the higher seed typically. I mean, the way they brace these guys in the committee, they really do a good job. I'm thinking they do a better job with this than they do in football with the top 12 teams, actually, with their committee.
Yeah, absolutely. More text coming in on the text board at 609-403-0970. So it's Patrick Gongba is his actual name. So I wanted to make sure I actually got the player's name correct. Also, shout out to Jeff in Summers Point. He's listening. He says, hello. He's going to try to stop by today for Hanging with Hennig on 97.3 ESPN. We got Jeff from Ocean City over here. We got Derek to our left over here. So we got some people who come to hang with Hennig on 97.3 ESPN. Alex Berard is back in the studio as our producer. I did want to hit on really quick. We don't have a lot of time. We'll do it on the other side. Because I do have a lot to say about the Eagles news this week.
Well, keep it to the other side.
For those who don't know, the Eagles made a series of moves yesterday. And I got to tell you, Mike, this is one of those situations where, for as much as I love the tournament, I hate that the tournament goes at the same time as NFL free agency. Because what the Eagles did yesterday is the most classic Howie Roseman move. This is Howie Roseman at his best, what he did yesterday. So I want to get into that coming up on the other side. For those who don't know, Howie made a trade and signed 2 players yesterday. And I seen some of the comments online, and it's going to be my job and responsibility to clear it all coming up next here on 97.3 ESPN+. Plus, it's been a busy week for the Sixers and the Flyers. They're both on West Coast road trips. Both of them are up late. Probably that's why my sleep schedule is so messed up, Mike.
Sixers are on a roll right now.
They're on a roll.
They haven't played anybody, but they're on a roll.
Right, they're not playing anybody. But you know what? You got to win games somehow, right? You got to find ways to win so you don't fall too far behind.
Teams that are tanking. I mean, think about it. They played the Nets tanking.
Yep.
The Portland tanking.
Kings
tanking. And the game they lost was a good team. So.
And then the Flyers, I don't know how they're winning. I mean, that team is absolutely ridiculous right now. The fact that they are going out west to beat the Flyers are the opposite. They're beating good teams. They're beating the Ducks and the Kings in the NHL Western Conference, and those are 2 teams that are much better than what the Sixers are playing. And you would think it would be the opposite, right? You think the Flyers would be losing, the Sixers are winning, but no, the Flyers are winning too. So we do got to recap the week here on Hanging with Hennig on 97.3 ESPN. Right now, Michigan leads 44-34, so come on down to check out the great appetizers here at Hangtime Bar and Grill. The cheesesteak sliders, the buffalo chicken bites, the loaded waffle fries, the spicy cheese curds, the jalapeno poppers, the $14 64-ounce pitchers, the $3.50 Miller and Bud Light drafts, all of that and more, but you only can get them at Hangtime Bar and Grill during the NCAA Tournament games all month long. We will be here today hanging at Hangtime Bar and Grill, hanging with Hennig on 97.3 ESPN FM, the 97.3 ESPN mobile app powered by First Bank. See how streaming live on YouTube and X in the Dr. Squatch virtual studios. As I mentioned, so we will get into the Eagles on the other side. More your text at 609-403-0973 and the Ivy Rehab injury report coming up in about 30 minutes.
Hey, South Jersey, this is Billy Schwein. Tune into The Locker Room every Saturday and Sunday from 10 a.m. to noon on 97.3 ESPN. Each weekend in The Locker Room, you will get passionate sports talk from a fan's perspective, along with interviews with some of the biggest names in sports. That's every Saturday and Sunday from 10 a.m. to noon in The Locker Room with me, Billy Schwein, on 97.3 ESPN and the 97.3 ESPN mobile app, because nothing could be finer than talking sports with a Schweiner.
We usually think of cardio for heart health, but strength training may be just as important. Research now shows lifting weights helps lower blood pressure, improves blood sugar control, and reduces belly fat, all major risk factors for heart issues. Muscle is metabolically active tissue, meaning it helps our body regulate energy. And here's some great news. The more muscle we have, the more calories we burn, even at rest. Strength training also helps improve bone density. Consistency matters more than intensity. Just 2 or 3 days per week using dumbbells, resistance bands, or even body weight exercises can make a big difference. Our heart doesn't just benefit from movement, it benefits from muscle. I'm Robin Stoloff for Health Update.
Did you know rechargeable lithium-ion batteries should never go in the trash? They can spark fires and put collection workers at risk. Dispose of them safely at ACUA household hazardous waste drop-offs or recycle them at participating hardware and battery stores. Learn more at acua.com/batteries.
If your bracket doesn't turn you into a millionaire, the New Jersey Lottery's new game, Millionaire for Life, just might. Catch all the college basketball tournament coverage on 97.3 ESPN. Brought to you by the New Jersey Lottery's Millionaire for Life.
Celebrate your love with exceptional quality and major savings.
At Sage Jewelers, now is the time to save big on stunning natural and brilliant lab-grown diamonds.
Whether you want timeless elegance or modern sparkle, we have the perfect diamond for every style and budget.
And if you're dreaming of something truly one of a kind, our expert jewelers can custom design the engagement ring you've always imagined.
Visit Sage Jewelers on Tilton Road today, in-store or online at sagejewelers.com.
Sage Jewelers, the ultimate expression of love.
LinkedIn is pretty amazing at helping you grow your small business. We cannot make your email response time faster. We can help you sell, market, and hire in one place. We cannot help you find space for your 3 desk drinks. Why do you have 3? And while we can't help you find the perfect volume for your presentation video, LinkedIn can help you find the perfect audience for your business. Grow your small business on LinkedIn. Learn more at linkedin.com/smallbusiness.
Go to get your game on at the Fanatic Sportsbook in the Gallery at Ocean Casino Resort. Go where fans become fanatics at the Fanatic Sportsbook in the Gallery. Go to Ocean Casino Resort. Go for the win. For more information, visit theoceanac.com.
Must be 21 or older to wager or consume alcohol. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Home of the Philadelphia Eagles.
They've got him. It's a sack.
Sixers.
Oh, baby.
And Flyers.
He scored!
97.3 ESPN. WENJ. WENJ HD. Millville, Atlantic City. A Town Square media station serving all of South Jersey.
Finally! This is Hanging with Hennig.
I have friends everywhere.
On 97.3 ESPN Radio, South Jersey.
In New Jersey. Am I right? Yeah.
Live feed on the 97.3 ESPN mobile app, powered by First Bank of Sea Isle City.
It seems to run on some form of electricity. Well, you're not wrong.
Streaming live on YouTube, Instagram, and the X platform.
The internet is a communications tool used the world over where people can come together.
Now, here's your host.
He's not gone. That's the whole point. He's never gone.
Josh Hennig.
Hour 2 of Hanging with Hennig, broadcasting live from Hangtime Bar and Grill on the White Horse Bike in Galloway on 97.3 ESPN FM, 97.3 ESPN mobile app, powered by First Bank of Sea Isle City. This is the place to be if you want to come out and watch all the tournament action on their 30 TVs. Of course, don't forget about the app specials like the cheesesteak sliders, the boneless chicken bites, as well as the drink specials like 250 ml in Bud Light drafts, $14 64-ounce pitchers, and much, much more. So come on down, hang with Hennig. I know it's a beautiful day outside, but you still want to watch the tournament games. Just drive around with your windows down. Come on down, hang out, watch the games. It's going to be a crazy, wild day of the madness here at Hangtime Bar and Grill, Mike Carlin.
You know what I say to people that say that about the weather? We've got beautiful weather coming. This happens one time.
Right.
Once a year.
Once a year.
You can miss a beautiful day like today and come in and watch basketball today and tomorrow. You got a lot of beautiful weather coming when you won't have this. I mean, you should, if you're a basketball fan, I don't know how you can miss this.
No, even if you're a sports fan. Like I find a lot of people, they're not even like pure basketball fans, but they just love this. They love the vibe. They love the environment, so.
Are we talking still basketball or are we talking Eagles?
We're going to flip it to the Eagles now, yeah. But, I mean, I just wanted to point out that, you don't have to be a basketball fan to, be into
sports
this. There's nothing like just really quick before we get to the Eagles. So I was at Whaletail Brewing, as I mentioned yesterday, and we were watching the end of the Kentucky game. And it was absolutely insane. Santa Clara hits that 3. And then literally Owe gets the ball, sprints to half court, chucks it, banks it in. And, there were people at the brewery who are not even, really, basketball fans. And even they were like, oh, my goodness, I can't believe it, And I think that's what it's about. It's about the madness, the energy, the fact that you never know what's going to happen. I think that's what makes it special.
And almost anybody can beat anybody.
Exactly.
Okay, that's the best. We've had only 1 or 2 true blowouts, like Penn got blown out by Illinois. But other than that, I can't really remember blowouts.
I will say that the thing with Illinois is is that Illinois is one of the highest scoring teams in college basketball. Like they're a high-powered offense. So, I mean, I told people to take the over in that game, and I hit that number. I said take the over in Penn, Illinois, because Illinois is going to score points, and they ain't going to play a lick of defense. Penn State just had an unlucky day from shooting outside the arc in that game. That's what happened.
My notes under the Fighting Illinois, the best offensive team in the country.
You mean the Fighting Illini?
The Fighting Illini. They might have extended their own expectation. I mean, by scoring, they just score. They score and score. If it wasn't clear before, Illinois' offense is at its best, they can reach the levels that a lot of people on the field can't.
Oh, they're nuts. That offense is ridiculous. And they're not doing it with, like, top 5 draft picks.
Mm-mm.
You know, the whole team is just a bunch of dudes.
Guys off the bench coming in you don't even know about.
I mean, I feel like it's like they go 10 deep.
Yeah.
At least the games I've seen of Illinois this year.
Let me ask you one quick question before
Yes.
we move to the Eagles. Ready? So there's 4 number 1 teams still left, correct?
Yes.
Arizona, Florida, Michigan, Duke. If I had to tell you one is not going to make it to the Final Four, is there one that stands out right away?
Read them off to me again.
Arizona, Florida, Michigan, Duke.
Duke.
For me, it's Duke. For me, I would be surprised if they lose to TCU, okay, their next game. But
I have them losing to St. John's.
But if they get by TCU, look, that's what I have down. St. John's or Kansas will beat them.
Right.
They're the number one seed that will be knocked out first before the other 3.
I don't think people understand, again, and I'm not trying to belabor the point just because we have Dr. David Gold coming on with us in about 20 minutes for the Ivy Rehab injury report. I'm saying it again because for them to not have Patrick Gungba out there, okay, Gungba is a defensive stalwart. He makes everyone else's job easier. And so when you lose a guy like that, Mike, you're losing a guy who is not just the rim protection. He's the rebounding. He helps with the floor spacing. And now it's already bad they're without one of their starters. Now they're without 2 of their starters, and you're asking both Boozer boys to step up and play roles that are not really their strong suits. So to me, I always felt that Duke was the biggest, scariest, most problematic of all the teams in the tournament.
But not now. Not now. Not with them hurting the way they're hurting.
No, I'm saying like they're in so much trouble. They are the most trouble.
You're in huge trouble. That's what I mean. Don't be surprised if TCU beats them. And if I had to give a double digit, if someone was asking Mike, who would you bet for a double digit? I love Texas against Gonzaga. Okay, and I love High Point versus Arkansas.
This is not a good Gonzaga team this year.
No, this is not your typical.
So
it's exactly right.
I'm not leaning into Gonzaga for anything whatsoever.
Texas could beat them.
Oh, 100%. All right, let's get to, as I'm getting 20 million, why is spam calling me? Spam stuff. Am I the only person who's had like 1 million times a day? It feels like I have someone calling me like every single day telling me, it's a scam obviously, but they're telling the recorded messages and it's like, hey, your loan has been approved.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I'm getting it like twice a day now. It's like getting ridiculous.
Just, you're lucky you don't get the ones I get from PAL and them saying what you bought for $1,100 is getting ready to go through. We just want to confirm that you bought it. I'm like, it's just every day it's stuff like that.
Yeah. But I got to get to the Eagles. I want to hear what people have to say at 609-403-0973 is the text board because Howie Roseman did it again yesterday. Howie Roseman. So for those who don't know, here was this. I'm going to go in the chronological order, okay? So I'm sitting there at Slack Tie Brewery down there in Dennis Township. And, I'm enjoying my day working outside the studio, right? It's when the tournament is on, I get the opportunity to have to go to the studio, right? Well, all of a sudden I see Eagles make a trade. I'm like, who's the trade for? What's the trade about? And I see that it's Sidney Brown. The Eagles traded Sidney Brown to the Falcons as part of a pick swap. So the Eagles are moving up in both the 4th and 6th rounds. And they use Sidney Brown to do the pick swap and move up. Now, people are wondering initially, why would you trade one of your only safeties? To which I would say, because he doesn't play safety. See, here's the part that people don't understand. One, the off season is not March. It's March, April, May, June, July, August. Okay? We've seen Howie Roseman make trades in August for guys. Remember C.J. Gardner-Johnson years ago?
Yep.
So them trading Sidney Brown was them basically admitting this guy is not good enough to play safety for us. He's only a special teams ace. So what they do? Less than an hour later, they signed a new special teams ace. J.T. Gray, who was a Pro Bowl special teamer, an All-Pro with the New Orleans Saints, bounced around last year due to injuries, but this is the ultimate low-risk, high-reward. You're bringing in a guy in J.T. Gray who has experience, it's not going to cost you a lot of money, and he replaces what Sidney Brown does for you in special teams. So you got that, number one. Number two, right after they acquired J.T. Gray, they re-signed Marcus Epps. Low risk, high reward. Knows the defense, knows the team. It's not going to cost you a ton of money and resources. And on top of all of it, Mike, what is Howie do? He trades Sidney Brown before his roster bonus date, which means you're saving money against the cap. So yesterday, within like an hour period of each other, Howie does what Howie does. And I don't think people always appreciate it because people will see, the Panthers or the Giants or the Broncos or whoever you want to point to, oh, they're making moves. Why aren't we making moves? And it's like, no. Let Howie do what he does best. It might not happen immediately. It might take some time, but let Howie do what he does best. Because at the end of the day, we may not like every move that he makes, but there's a reason for every move that he makes. And, I understand the Sidney Brown move because Vic Fangio and the Eagles are probably having conversations all offseason about how did we let the 49ers, with backup offensive linemen, backup receivers, slice and dice us in the postseason game. Now, I would say, well, you got outcoached. The Eagles are probably saying it's more than coaching. We think it's personnel. And that's why you sign Tariq Woolen to that one-year contract. That's why you move on from Sidney Brown. That's why you bring back Marcus Epps. That's why you make some of these moves so far. I mean, I think Arnold Edebike is going to be a really good pickup for them because he's a young man that did the opposite. How many times in college, Mike, you see a guy do well at one level, and then when he moves to the next level, and all of a sudden
he's just a good player. You went from a great player to a good player.
Well, he's the opposite. Edebike was a good player at Temple, and then had an amazing year at Penn State.
Yeah.
Like, I've never seen that before, a guy be better at the next level than the lower level. And so, to me, I look at him as a guy that can come in here. You're not asking him to be the full-time edge rusher, but him to be a part of this team, I think these are savvy, smart moves for the Eagles to recalibrate the defense, and they're going to do more in the draft as well.
All these other teams that you mentioned that were making all these moves in the last 2-3 weeks, and the Eagles were very quiet. Just because you make moves doesn't mean you make the right moves, okay? It's almost like by this time, if you don't believe in what Howie does, then you're never going to believe in what he does, okay? He waits for the moment that he thinks is right, and boom, then he hits it. And for the most part, his hits are always right there.
Right.
No one is 100%. There's not a guy out there that's 100%. But what he has proven so far, you've got to just stand back and just say, let Howie do his thing.
Well, the other thing is that, you mentioned that the other teams, they have to go for the big home run because they don't have another choice.
Yeah.
They have to go for the big home run because if they don't go for the big home run, they're left with their hands tied. They don't know what to do.
They got to show their customers, their fan base, whether you're Carolina or one of those teams down there, you may overpay to have a guy just because you got to sell tickets.
Well, not just sell tickets, but that you haven't done a good enough job drafting previously. Like, for example, the Raiders are, to me, a perfect example. They gave Tyler Linderbaum a massive contract. Now, listen, he's arguably the best center in football. So, and you need a center if you're going to draft a rookie quarterback, right?
Right.
But you have to overpay a little bit to convince him to come to a team that maybe wasn't on his radar. So what happens when you overpay somebody? That means that you're admitting that you did a bad job at filling that role previously.
Yeah, I agree. And when you mention a team like Raiders, if you've never lived in Vegas, I spent a lot of time in Vegas, and I'm a great football player. Unless you're going to pay me a lot of money, I don't know if especially if I'm married with kids, I don't know if I'm going to Vegas.
Yeah.
Okay, there's got to be, and that's what you're talking about, overpaying. Sometimes they have to overpay just to get guys to come to where you're playing at.
Yeah, like this week, so I don't know if you saw the interview. So former Eagle edge rusher Jalen Phillips was on Good Morning Football this week. And he goes on, they asked him, hey, why'd you go to Carolina? You know what he says? Oh, they have a great football culture. It's one of the best football cultures I've ever been around. It's like, no, you idiot. You went to because you got paid $30 million. Right. No one else was giving you $30 million.
He's just telling you what you want to hear.
I don't want to tell him what I want to hear. I would respect him more if he would have got up there and said, hey, listen, me and my agent, we were looking at a few different options. We want to come back to the Eagles, but the Panthers offered me a contract I couldn't refuse.
They really want me. They really want me.
Right. He would have said, hey, they really showed how much they wanted me by offering me money that nobody else was, and tell him and just be honest about it. But he wasn't honest about it, and I don't respect that. To me, just don't mess around with us, okay? The fans, the media, like can we get into Kevin Willard for a minute?
Yeah.
He can say all he wants that he was joking. That was first of all, a poorly executed joke. 2, don't be a miserable curmudgeon and say, oh, well, people hate me all the time on the internet. No. You said something
that was wrong.
Okay? Because you know what sarcasm is many times? It's half truth. Okay? I think a part of him was mad at his coaching staff. To which I would tell Kevin, that's your coaching staff. You messed up. Don't tell us, I was kidding, I was joking. No. If I was Villanova, the moment he gets off the plane, if I was the AD and the president, I'd sit him down and be like, you got 2 minutes to convince us why we shouldn't fire you now.
It's not what we stand for here at Villanova.
We don't make jokes about firing people. Yeah. We don't say things like that in jest. You would never have heard Jay Wright or Fran Dunphy or John Chaney. You know what John Chaney, every time they lost, who he blamed? Himself.
Yeah.
John always blamed himself. He would
I got to do a better job. You always hear the good coaches, that's how they talk.
But it's more than I got to do a better job. Like, I remember Chaney after the one NCAA tournament loss. Remember the one, the Duke?
Mm-hmm.
And he got up there and said, I know you guys don't want to hear it, but he said, I let these kids down. I let the university down. Like, he took it all on himself. Kevin Willard's not doing that at Villanova. And frankly, if I'm one of those coaches on his staff, I would have let him up.
Yeah.
When no one's around.
Or when the season's over, I'm out of here. I don't want to be part of it.
I would have gone to him and be like, you can't be joking about people being fired. Like, it's not cool. I mean, I don't know how you feel about Carlin, but, it made me so angry that this guy is trying to weasel his way out of it.
Right. And remember, you always hear the players say it's supposed to stay in-house. Like, certain stuff never gets out.
Yeah.
You want to talk like that to an assistant coach? You talk to that one-on-one, behind the scenes with no one around.
Right.
Look at the Siena Duke coach. How many big-time coaches? You can't get any bigger time than what's his name? Shire.
John Shire at Duke.
He wins the game, and instead of praising himself and the team, first thing he says, I was out-coached.
Yep.
We were lucky to win tonight. I was out-coached. You just don't hear that these days. That's coming from an honest guy.
Right. To me, if in the world of NIL, with all this money being thrown around, you see the way the High Point coach handles his business after the game, that's who you want to play for.
Yeah, Howard, the coach from Howard.
Howard. He was almost crying after the game.
Yeah.
But, those are the coaches you want to play for. And by the way, the highest NIL budget of any non-Power 5 school is High Point. High Point has a lot of money.
You've never been to their campus, have you?
Huh?
You've never been to their campus?
Well, I've never been to Wisconsin.
No, isn't High Point in North Carolina?
Oh, you're right, North Carolina, not Wisconsin. I'm messing up this.
Josh, you ready for this?
Yeah.
It literally is a country club.
Is it?
The best country club you can think of, that's their college. I mean, it is. You step on the camp. People that go there as a student, forget about being an athlete, but if you're being recruited and you go onto their campus, I don't know how you don't sign and say I'm playing here. It is unbelievable.
Well, they have the highest NIL budget of any non-Power 5 school.
And they spell it. They spend it on their campus.
Yeah.
It's a country club. From dining to eating to where you sleep, the dorms, the surrounding, the pools, you name it, it's unbelievable. That's all I'll say.
Well, listen, I think it's more than fair to say that, this entire tournament's been wild. But really quick to wrap it up with the Eagles, I think that we got to give Howie Roseman credit because he's working smarter, not harder right now. And you know what? For all the people who are worried about what are they going to do about, first of all, if they trade A.J. Brown, they'll find a way to replace him. I trust Howie Roseman to do that. If you're looking at it, be like, why are all the tight ends on one-year deals? You know why? Because they're going to draft a tight end.
Yeah.
Okay? I hope it's Eli Stowers or Vanderbilt. I really do. I think the guy's a stud.
I don't know if he'll be there, but I would love that.
Well, the guy's going to go high as Sadiq of Oregon. He's not even going to make it to the 20s. I think Stowers could be there in the second round just because I think that I think what's going to happen is that people are going to start getting desperate about these quarterbacks. They start getting desperate about these offensive linemen, and it's going to push people down. You know how it works.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you see a guy drop. Like, look at Cooper DeJean a couple years ago. No one thought he was going to last in the second round, but he did. Yep. And the Eagles scooped him up. So, to me, you just got to trust Howie's process, and you got to realize that he knows that he has to do a good job. You know why, Mike? Because he sees Washington is upgrading their roster. The Giants upgraded their coach and their roster. The Cowboys took one of your coaches to be their defensive coordinator. So he's aware.
And we're not getting younger, Josh. That line is not getting younger.
And he's aware.
We got to win.
That you got to keep up with the Joneses. But you just got to also be smarter than the Joneses.
If I had is Brown with us on opening day or not?
I don't think so.
See, I do. Okay.
I think they're waiting until after June 1st when the cap hit decreases by 90%.
Okay.
Because the guys in NBC Boston, they think
so you're planning on bringing someone in then?
I
we can't go with Smith. We just can't go with Smith.
Well, I mean, you signed Hollywood.
With the draft pick.
You signed Hollywood Brown. You have Darius Cooper still. You'll probably draft someone like a Denzel Boston.
None of them are Brown. Yeah, that's why I think sooner or later they're going to sit and say, guys, no one's better than Brown. We need Brown now.
Yeah, but we'll get into a little
unless there's so much baggage that we don't know about.
Well, there is some baggage. Yeah. There obviously is some baggage with Brown, but let's table that conversation a little bit later in the show, so we can let's repurpose that for 2:00.
Okay.
And we'll bring Alex into that conversation as well. Josh Hennig, Mike Carlin, hanging out here at Hangtime Bar and Grill in Galloway on the White Horse Pike. This is the place to be for all the tournament action. All day long today, all day long tomorrow. Of course, don't forget the app specials, cheesesteak sliders, boneless buffalo chicken bites, loaded waffle fries, spicy cheese curds. And don't forget the drink specials, $3.50 Miller and Bud Light drafts, as well as the $14 64-ounce pitchers and the $10 tall Tito's vodka cocktails. All that and more. You only can get it right here at Hangtime Bar and Grill on the White Horse Pike in Galloway. Coming up next, the Ivy Rehab injury report. A couple of basketball injuries impacting potentially both the NBA postseason and the NCAA tournament. Here on Hanging with Hennig, 97.3 ESPN FM, the 97.3 ESPN mobile app powered by First Bank of Seattle. Streaming live on YouTube and X in the Dr. Squatch virtual studio.
Lanier in transition, hits the three. Now with 5, he drives on Maddox. Right elbow is raised, spins to the foul line. Jumper up and it rattles in at the buzzer.
Don't miss any of this year's action on the road to the Final Four with Westwood One's exclusive coverage of the men's NCAA Tournament.
Listen to the NCAA Tournament second round action on 97.3 ESPN. Later today, coverage begins at 3 p.m.
Catch all the college basketball tournament coverage on 97.3 ESPN. Brought to you by the New Jersey Lottery's Millionaire for Life.
Tired of cooking and planning all of your meals each and every day? You need Prevail Nutrition to simplify your life. For almost a decade, Prevail Nutrition is a local meal prep company located in South Jersey that allows customers to design their own meal plan. Or you can choose from a wide variety of chef-designed meals on their weekly changing Prevail Selects menu. You can order online for pickup or get free delivery on orders of over $50. Prevail Nutrition delivers to Atlantic and Cumberland counties along with Ocean City. Or you can pick up your meals every Monday and Friday. Learn more about how Prevail Nutrition can simplify your life. Visit their website at prevailnutrition.club. Check out Prevail Nutrition on Facebook and Instagram. Prevail Nutrition is my go-to choice for prepared meals and foods. Order online, like me, at prevailnutrition.club.
Making your home look brand new is what Work of Art Construction can do for you. Ready to remodel your bathroom or have a kitchen makeover? Art Masker has 40 years of experience in construction and knows how to make your home look like a work of art. Want to install a new back deck or invest in a new front door? Just call Art Masker at 609-788-4271 to learn more. Visit Work of Art Construction on Instagram to see how Work of Art Construction can make your home look brand new. Beautify your home with Work of Art. Call him at 609-788-4271 and let them make your home truly a work of art.
Hop in a John Deere Gator XUV for a day's work. Let's see what's on the to-do list. There goes the tree. And the fence. Not a problem. Because you've got a cargo box filled with solutions. Up to 4,000 pounds of towing capacity. And you're ready to roll.
The power's out!
Here we go again. The Gator XUV, built for every kind of workday. Learn more at johndeere.com/Gator XUV. Nothing runs like a deer.
Journey down winding roads to the Piccalilli Inn, a special place in the Pines where time slows, friends meet, and the wings are legendary. Make your family tradition a part of theirs. The Piccalilli Inn, Route 206, Chemung, New Jersey. Visit piccalilli.com.
Winter storms can change the road in an instant. When the unexpected happens, you want the area's top-of-mind high-end collision specialist. Moppert Brothers in Northfield is trusted to restore luxury and performance vehicles to exact factory specifications. Manufacturer certified by Mercedes-Benz, BMW, Ford, Tesla, and Polestar, their team uses advanced equipment and precision craftsmanship to protect your investment. After the storm, choose the name drivers have trusted for decades. Moppert Brothers of Northfield.
You've got a big day, so you use Unstoppable scent boosters to give your laundry non-stop freshness. So no matter how long the day goes, you
can't stop this power, this walk, this pose, this strut, this look, this talk.
Your clothes will be so fresh you can confidently strut into that end of the day meeting like a
boss, 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 bosses. Let's talk business in my office.
Add new Unstoppables beads to your wash for 24-hour non-stop freshness, so you can smell unstoppable.
Think Verizon is expensive? Think again. Anyone can bring their AT&T or T-Mobile bill to a Verizon store today and we'll give you a better deal. So bring us your bill. Walk in, run in, pogo stick in, teleport if you can. Ride on the back of a rollerblading yak or fly in on the wings of a majestic falcon. Any way you can, bring your AT&T or T-Mobile bill to a Verizon store today and we'll give you a better deal on the best network. Based on Root Metrics Best Overall Mobile Network Performance, U.S. second half 2025. All rights reserved. Must provide very recent postpaid consumer mobile bill in the name of the person redeeming the deal. Additional terms, conditions, and restrictions apply.
Broadly's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning. The name you know, the service you trust.
Broadly's has you covered in every season. Join their family comfort plan for priority service, annual tune-ups, and extra repair savings. For a limited time, take advantage of $500 off a full system replacement, plus up to $2,650 in utility rebates. Call 609-390-3907 or visit broadleys.net.
The name you know, the service you trust.
You're hanging with Josh Hennig on 97.3 ESPN FM.
I want my picks back. I want David Putnam.
And on the 97.3 ESPN mobile app, powered by First Bank of Sea Isle City.
All my picks back, and I want David Putnam just because I feel like it.
You're out of your mind.
Yeah, I am. Haven't I proved that already?
Streaming live on YouTube, Instagram, and the X platform.
Josh Hennig back here on Hanging with Hennig on the Hangtime Bar and Grill here on 97.3 ESPN. It's time for the Ivy Rehab Injury Report with over 18 locations all around South Jersey. Of course, they're my go-to for physical therapy. I've been going to them for the last several months. I'm sure they're getting a little tired of me coming in there. Nah, I'm just kidding. Dr. Josh is great down there in the courthouse location. But today we're being joined by a different physical therapy doctor today. Dr. David Gold is joining us here on Hanging with Hennig on 97.3 ESPN. Dr. Gold, how you doing today?
Hey, good afternoon. Doing really well. Thanks for having me.
We appreciate you jumping on. So there's some interesting injuries, and I think what's interesting about them is that these are injuries that people, like normal people, right, regular people can get as well. And we want to start with the NCAA Tournament one, which is, so Patrick Gungba, he's not going to be playing this weekend. And we saw on Thursday how that impacted Duke. They almost lost to Siena, for goodness sake. You know, that once he was losing to the 6th team. So what happened to Gungba, for those who don't know, is he doesn't have a broken bone, which is the good news, but he has a bone bruise. It was so bad he had to be in a walking boot. So talk to us about, you know, when someone says, hey, I didn't break the bone in my foot, but the MRI says there's a bone bruise, and they still have lingering soreness. What does that mean for a person of any size? It doesn't just have to be an athlete.
Right. Well, first of all, thank you guys for having me. Boy, what an incredible weekend for sports action this March Madness. Trying to fight my daughter for the remote. She wants Paw Patrol. I want hoops. But we're looking at these sports injuries, and you got a big guy with a foot injury like this. And yes, it can happen to anyone. But when you're 6'11", 250 pounds, explosiveness, running, jumping, landing. I mean, the foot is an incredible piece of anatomy. And when we're having an injury like this, you're thinking time. You want time to heal, right? We don't know the exact bone. We don't know the exact date that it happened, but he's been in a boot for close to 3 weeks now resting. You want to make sure that you can calm the pain and let this inflammation settle down to get back on the court. But it's up against the clock. I mean, this is the big dance. This young man wants to get back to play. His team needs him. So he'll probably be playing through pain. He'll have to make sure he can prove that he can risk re-injury, right? We don't want to make this thing worse when we talk about an injury like this. A bone bruise can happen by somebody, hard impact coming on it. It could happen maybe from somebody stomping on his foot, but more often than not, it's this kind of repetitive strain injury from heavy force and load, and that's going to be what he's dealing with.
You mentioned about the concern about re-injury, and I know, modern medicine is very different than it was many years ago. My mind immediately goes to when Bill Walton came back too soon years ago from a foot injury, and then he ended up breaking his foot after he already strained his foot. So, how would you explain to someone who walks into Ivy Rehab? Let's say they have a bone bruise. Maybe they're someone at the gym, right? Maybe they dropped a weight on their foot, or maybe you said someone stepped on their foot. Maybe their kids are stomping on their feet, right? So what would you say to somebody who comes into Ivy Rehab about what goes into dealing with a bone bruise in the foot and with the soreness?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of education, pacing, management, and realizing that we want to not pick a scab, right? This guy's itching to get back, and we want to get our athletes and we want to get our patients back soon, but tissue healing timelines, you can't rush anatomy. So, an injury like this would benefit from more time, 4 to 6 weeks, and then gradual load management and progressive rehab. But you really want to limit that impact as long as you can. So yes, we're doing the physical rehab with folks. We're working on flexibility for the foot and ankle complex. We're working on joint mobilization. We're working on balance and proprioceptive exercises, but you really do have to be mindful to try and limit the weight bearing so you don't kind of pick that scab. And more or less, that's what this could be, that type of repeated micro trauma where you're extensively putting pressure on these bones and ligaments and you're causing more inflammation. So some of it's a mental game. We do a lot of work trying to, keep people positive and stay in the game so you can get back and be on top. But, this is a young man who already missed a full season of high school hoops back in 23-24 with the right foot injury. So, a big man with foot problems in basketball, never a good thing. It can always turn around and have success. We know our Philly sports, Joel Embiid, missed close to his first 2 full seasons with the stress reaction of the navicular bone. So that one can take a little bit longer to heal, knowing where that bone is in the foot. We don't know exactly where this player's, which bone injury it is, but for sure time is going to be on the side. But there's lots that you can do to rehab it and limit weight bearing, like other cross training. He's on the bike, maybe in the pool. We're doing strengthening of other muscle groups and just trying to limit jumping and loading as much as you can until he's ready to get back on court.
We're talking to Dr. David Gold from Ivy Rehab with the Ivy Rehab Injury Report today here on Hanging with Hennig on 97.3 ESPN with our 18 locations all around South Jersey. Another big basketball injury that's impacting not college basketball, but the NBA postseason is dealing with the Minnesota Timberwolves. So for those who haven't heard the news, maybe you've been busy doing other things this week, Anthony Edwards, who's the superstar for the Timberwolves, he's going to be reevaluated in 2 weeks, what they're calling right knee inflammation. Now, Dr. Gold, what I think is interesting about this is how the reporting has come out about it, which is the description is the MRI revealed no structural damage or ligament concern, but that Edwards is trying to play through the pain, and the doctor said you need to stop playing through the pain because he still has continual soreness and what they are calling fluctuating swelling. So if someone came to you with this injury, right, hey, I have no structural damage, I have nothing wrong with the ligaments, but I have the swelling comes and goes, I have perpetual soreness, what does that say to you?
Yeah, good question. The knee is a complex joint, and just because, what they're seeing on the MRI, they're describing is there's no tear, serious injury to one of the ligamentous structures, the ACL, the MCL, the ACL, the LCL, the PCL, that really, or the guardrails that hold that knee from shifting out of place. So it's intact. The meniscus are two other structures in the knee that do cushioning and shock absorption and maintain good alignment in the knee. Now, they could be inflamed, the meniscus, right? But there's also a diagnosis called patellofemoral pain syndrome, which is just a very broad diagnosis. So, we know that he could have inflammation of his patellar tendon. And what you want to do is, again, stop picking the scab, right? Don't keep causing that inflammation and that irritation. So we're working on rest, ice compression, elevation, and just trying to limit some of that. I mean, Anthony Edwards exploding, right? Jumping, incredible forces, landing, changing direction quickly. And these NBA players, he's playing through pain all season. I mean, he's dealt with other injuries, so they're going into the playoff rush. You got to let this thing heal. The playoffs, it's almost a whole other season in the NBA. So I think they want to buy him some time and let this thing heal up, so you just continue to avoid re-aggravating it. And really what a lot of these injuries need is a little time, strengthen the other hip, form up with balance exercise, pain management, and get him right for the playoff push.
When you think about Dr. Gold, about the fact that, a lot of times, us men, and all of us do this, so in some capacity, it's like, I'll be fine, I'll suck it up, I'll take ibuprofen, I'll do whatever to get through. But a lot of times people don't always realize, like the Timberwolves doctor had explained to Anthony Edwards, you actually need to get it taken care of. You can't just keep pushing it off and kicking the can down the lane, right? You got to actually be, for lack of a term, responsible and not just, rub some dirt on it, right?
There's never, a good time, right? Everybody's got something on in their life, whether it's the playoffs or whether you have a work business trip coming up. I mean, we have to make the times to take care of ourselves. That's the balance of society we live in right now, right? There are all these barriers, but how do we take a moment to make time for ourselves? And that's the truth. I mean, and he's got to get right. And the doctors know that, yes, we want him to not deal with this fluctuating soreness. So, that's the Minnesota fans doing their doctors. But you don't want this to turn to a greater injury. Playing on a knee that's not being trusted and supported, you could have a ligament injury if you don't land right because you're favoring it. He could have an ankle sprain. He could have, another injury because of just not trusting that knee.
Before we let you go, if you had a patient come into IV rehab, right? And they're saying to you, hey, I'm dealing with just like soreness in general, right? I feel like that's such a vague thing that people will say, like, oh, I'm sore, I'm in pain. Tell the audience about what some of the procedures IV rehab does to help better isolate how to care for an injury.
Right. So what we would take somebody through dealing with soreness is first trying to identify what is the cause of the soreness, right? What is the provoking factor? Somebody might not even realize it. It could be postural related. It could be improper technique when they're doing weightlifting or yard work or something like that. So the first thing you want to do is, prevent the mechanism that's causing it. But then we also want to educate folks about the soreness rules. You could, identify if you're sore, okay, stop and try and stretch it out, and then go back to the activity. And if you're good, you're good. But if the soreness returns, maybe that's when we need to take a day or two off and then regress our activities. So it can't just be, non-stop gung-ho. We need to just make sure that your body's tolerating what your mind wants to do. And that's where we help align people by showing objective data of, what is the strength when we rate your hip strength of the right painful side versus the left side. We want to show you what you might not even know about. Oh my gosh, I didn't realize it was that weak. I didn't realize I was that tight. So a lot of just very clear and in-depth diagnosis. And the patient sees it right there. Wow, I didn't realize my balance was so bad on this side. And then they're like, well, I really should slow down. So our job is to help teach you and show you what your body's doing with lay terminology, and then also a few different things to teach you on how you can best manage it with non-pharmacological and non-invasive options.
Yeah, and I know from personal experience that's what happened to me. I didn't realize how one part impacted the other part, because I kept saying, oh no, it's here, and everyone down at Ivy Rehab was like, no, it's actually this, and then you got to reprogram your mind to follow the instructions they're giving you for the rehab, and it's important that you actually listen. So I think it's very important that folks understand that you guys at Ivy Rehab, you're there to help people get back to fully being healthy. You guys have done it for me. And I know you guys would do it for more people with over 18 locations all around South Jersey. The Ivy Rehab Injury Report. He's Dr. David Gold. Doctor, appreciate you jumping on today.
Thank you for having me. And I got hungry hearing about the food you guys have down there. I might head down to Galloway. So thanks for having me on the broadcast, and love what you do.
Absolutely. Josh Hennig, Mike Carlin, hanging with Hennig here on 97.3 ESPN. Yes, we are live here at Hangtime Bar and Grill. Listen, you got these app specials like cheesesteak sliders, loaded waffle fries, boneless buffalo chicken bites, spicy cheese curds, jalapeno poppers, and the drink specials of 350 Miller and Bud Light drafts, $14 64-ounce pitchers. You have to keep harassing the waitress, the bartender to keep getting you more of the drink. Or maybe you're not a beer person, maybe you want to get a $10 tall Tito's vodka cocktails, all that and more. But you only can get it during the tournament games right here at Hangtime Bar and Grill. That's where we are at today for Hanging with Hennig here on 97.3 ESPN. Coming up the other side, we'll check back in on the text board, 609-403-0973, and we'll circle back to our Eagles and NFL conversation. Mike Carlin asked a good question about 20 minutes ago. We want to repurpose that. We'll also bring Alex Berardis into the conversation as well. And don't forget, coming up at 2:25, we will hear from former All-Pro pass rusher for the San Diego Chargers, Shawn Merriman joins us coming up here on Hanging with Hennig on 97.3 ESPN. Looking for a great happy hour or night out with friends and family? Hangtime Bar and Grill, located on the White Horse Pike in Galloway, has live music every Tuesday night, DJ bingo every Wednesday night, and check out their 30 TVs to watch your favorite team play any time of year. Enjoy all the college basketball tournament action in March with food and drink specials at the main bar, or check out their new private back deck patio. Check out Hangtime Bar and Grill on Facebook and Instagram to learn more about their weekly specials and one of the best happy hours in South Jersey. On the White Horse Pike in Galloway at Hangtime Bar and Grill.
For 23 years, we've helped athletes at all levels at Clemic Performance Method, from youth to pros, increase maximum velocity, acceleration, vertical leaps, and general physical preparedness. We offer youth, high school, and pro college classes. Our proven results have earned national recognition from NFL coaches, sponsors, and a feature on ESPN Radio's Sports Science segment. You can contact me directly at 609-742-6190, or as always, visit us on our website, ClemicPerformanceMethod.com.
50 years from now, will jeans be wide or skinny? Will email still exist? Will guac still be extra? One thing is certain. If you won the new Millionaire for Life from the New Jersey Lottery today, you'd still be getting $1 million every year for life. That's enough money to say, bring it on, the future. I will have that guacamole at any price.
Play the new Millionaire for Life today. Anything can happen in Jersey. Must be 18 or older to buy a lottery ticket. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Xfinity Tech Support, Matthew speaking.
Hi, I live in a pretty remote place, like Jurassic Park remote. No!
Wow.
Will Xfinity Mobile work out here?
Yep, the combination of reliable Wi-Fi and 5G makes it so that you can stay connected in all kinds of places. Plus, you get access to ultra-fast speeds and coverage, whether you're poolside or out live streaming with a T-Rex.
Hold still, you're about to go viral.
Welcome to a new era of Wi-Fi boosted mobile. Cut your mobile bill in half with 2 lines of unlimited. Learn more at xfinitymobile.com. Xfinity, imagine that. Watch Jurassic Park with Xfinity. Restrictions apply. Xfinity Internet required. Savings comparison based on promotional rate for 2 lines of Xfinity Mobile Unlimited versus 2 lines of T-Mobile Experience More, Verizon Unlimited Plus, and AT&T Starter as of February 10th, 2026. Taxes, fees, extra.
Time for March fun. Fill out your brackets and head to Ventnor Social to catch all the live action of the basketball tournament. Watch every game on 20 big screens. Enjoy game day food specials, wing specials, and cold drafts. While you're there, create your own action and play one of the many video games they have on site in their arcade. Ventnor Social is your basketball headquarters this March. Ventnor Social on Ventnor Avenue. Visit their Facebook page for up-to-date info and specials.
You've got a big day, so you use Unstoppable Scent Boosters to give your laundry non-stop freshness. So no matter how long the day goes, you
can't stop this power, this walk, this pose, this strut, this look, this talk.
Your clothes will be so fresh you can confidently strut into that end of the day meeting like a
bosses. Let's talk business in my office.
Add new Unstoppables beads to your wash for 24-hour non-stop freshness so you can smell unstoppable.
Tired of the runaround? Then drive over to Bridgeton Auto Mall, where the savings this month are a slam dunk. We've slashed prices on our massive selection of new and pre-owned vehicles. Whether you need an SUV for the family, a fuel-efficient sedan, or a truck for the job, we've got the perfect deal to help you win big. And our award-winning service department is here for all oil changes, tire rotations, even major repairs. Don't miss your shot. Bridgeton Auto Mall on Pearl Street in Bridgeton or online at drivebam.com.
Think Verizon is expensive? Think again. Anyone can bring their AT&T or T-Mobile bill to a Verizon store today and we'll give you a better deal. So bring us your bill. Walk in, run in, pogo stick in, teleport if you can. Ride on the back of a rollerblading yak or fly in on the wings of a majestic falcon. Any way you can, bring your AT&T or T-Mobile bill to a Verizon store today, and we'll give you a better deal on the best network. Based on RootMetrics Best Overall Mobile Network Performance, U.S. Second Half 2025. All rights reserved. Must provide very recent postpaid consumer mobile bill in the name of the person redeeming the deal. Additional terms, conditions, and restrictions apply.
Caesars Sportsbook is the only sportsbook app with Caesars Rewards. Bet the tournament action like a Caesar and earn perks on every game, like hotel stays, bonus bets, game tickets, and more. Download the app using promo code RADIODYW and place your first bet of $1 or more for a chance to double your winnings on your next 10 bets.
Open to new users in New Jersey who are 21 or older. Max bet of $25 for boosted winnings. Max additional winnings $2,500 per bet. Profit boost tokens expire 14 days after receipt. See Caesars.com/promos for full terms. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
You're hanging with Josh Hennig on 97.3 ESPN FM.
People will come, Ray.
And on the 97.3 ESPN mobile app, powered by First Bank of Sea Isle City.
People will most definitely come.
Streaming live on YouTube, Instagram, and the X platform.
Hang with Hennig back here at Hangtime Bar and Grill here on 97.3 ESPN as Michigan is right now pulling away from St. Louis in the first game of the tournament today. Of course, this is the place to be with over 30 TVs here to watch all the action, whether it's March Madness, whether it's the women's tournament. We got the golf tournament over here over my left shoulder as well. But we have Patricia Raffici back with us because Mike Carlin has discovered the truth about your pizza here at Hangtime Bar and Grill. So can you tell us
what you do?
Yeah, Mike's basically telling me to shut up because he wants to talk about this.
The typical restaurant does not do because of if they want to be in the pizza business, there's so many frozen pizza crusts out there, and some of them are good. Don't get me wrong.
Sure.
Okay?
But it's easy. It's a quick fix.
It's a quick fix. Tell them what you do here. And what I'm looking at and feeling, and you can feel that it's a
homemade pizza dough.
Fresh.
Every day. So like I previously said, we're a sports bar, so obviously we pride ourselves off wings and burgers, but a true treasure, I think, is our pizza because my brother and I make the dough daily, fresh, and we pride ourselves on fresh ingredients. So fresh homemade dough every day is the way to go. So what you have is margarita pizza. Fresh mozzarella, fresh basil, and of course mozzarella cheese.
Looks unbelievable. I had my own pizza shop, believe it or not, back in Philadelphia. So I'm a pizza nut, okay?
Here, hand me that so I can show it to the camera.
And when I see a pizza, when I see a crust like this, okay, I knew right away it's not a frozen crust. Frozen crust don't come out like this, doesn't have this feel of the texture. But also being in the food business for 40 years I've been in millions of places like this. And they all say, oh, we got great pizza. And I get a pizza, and as soon as I bite it, I can say, oh, it's good, sauce is good, too. But it's a frozen crust.
Yeah.
Frozen crust.
Simple is the way.
This, before you even bite into it, I know that this is a fresh bread. And I guess I wanted to make sure that you really promote it because it's not easy to do, to have the making dough every day. If you're not a true pizza shop where 90% of pizzas are going in and out.
It's a labor of love.
For you to take the time, correct, and do that, anybody that's out there that's listening, if you've not been here and you've never had the pizza or you're a customer and you've never ordered pizza, trust me, order the pizza. And if you've never been here, come and get the pizza. Okay? A pizza and a cold beer would be a great combination.
Absolutely.
But thanks for letting us know. And
yeah, of course. Enjoy.
Now we're going to dig in.
Awesome.
Okay, thank you.
Of course.
Well, he might be digging in. I'm actually got still have work to do over here.
I'll wait.
Geez, I appreciate you joining us over here to talk about the pizza. But that is really amazing. That Mike's right. You know, most people don't ever make their own dough, and it's very rare when you find an establishment that cares about their food as much as Hangtime Bar and Grill does. Not every business actually cares about the food they're putting out there. It's just kind of like I'm not trying to put anyone down. But, you know, it's one of the things I like about Hangtime. It's one of the things I like about Matt's Taste of Love food truck. You know, my guy Willie over there with the food truck down at Slack Tie Brewing Company. He'll be over there in other places. You know, it's the idea that they're not treating their food like an assembly line.
Right. Well,
they treat their food like, I want to serve you something that I want to have.
Right. What tells me on if they're taking the time to make their own dough every day, what else are they taking their time to do things that she didn't even talk about?
Right.
Okay? And what it all comes down to, it's the freshness of the food that's coming out to the customers, coming out from the kitchen. Because I'm telling you, making dough on a daily basis is she said, it's a flavor of love. It is, because this is not easy. Everybody thinks it's just water, flour, and yeast. It's not. It's got to raise. It's got. I mean, there's time invested.
I laugh because the way you said it. People are like, oh, they just think it's this, you know, and it's not that simple.
It's not. But I love it just to know if they're doing that, what are the other things that they're doing in the right way to serve food to the customer.
And again, it's one of the many great food options you have to come down. As Mike said, have some pizza, have a beer, hang out. Hangtime Bar and Grill here on 97.3 ESPN, hanging with Hennig, hanging out with you. As promised, I want to get back to the text board at 609-403-0973. You know, Mike Carlin's making me work extra hard here. Bob and Weave and Bob over here with different things. But, you know, I do want to get back to the people who are listening on the radio who haven't been able to get out here yet to Hangtime Bar and Grill, because people are texting in. I mentioned about the spam calls I get. Someone did text in earlier, Mike, and they said, Josh, it's me too. I get the calls all day long. I don't even answer my phone anymore because I don't know if it's a scam or a real person. Sure. I'm in the same boat. Yeah. If I don't have your number saved in my phone.
Leave me a message. You don't leave me a message, then I know I don't want it.
Exactly. Or what they do is the scam callers, they'll leave you a message, and the message is like a half-recorded message because all they hear is like you saying, hey, leave a message, and the beep goes off, and it's like the recording started. Yeah. That's how the AI works. It's so ridiculous. So I'm so glad I'm not the only person going through this. Another text coming in, the White Horse RV text board at 609-403-0973. Okay, someone sent us one of the texts something in did not mean to send in.
For somebody else?
Yeah, somebody sent a text in meant for somebody else. Sorry, I meant for somebody else. All right, well, you ruined the whole thing.
It's okay.
What I enjoy about, though, when the listeners do text in to the show is, like the one texter was saying, hey, you know, I deal with the same thing, you know, with my, you know, it's the idea that, you know, I don't know how everybody else viewed it, but I know growing up, I always hated when people in these positions, you know, radio, television, now it's streaming on YouTube and X as we are here in the Dr. Squatch virtual studios. It's the idea that people talk to you like they're different than you. And I hate that.
Is different, also not just different, but maybe better?
Right.
Like they think they're better than you.
They're condescending.
Yeah.
And I never.
We're all just got to be down to earth, just regular, just be yourself.
Yeah, I never liked that. And that's why it's so fun to be at a place like here, like Hangtime Bar and Grill in Galloway here on 97.3 ESPN. They just got to hang out, watch the games. You know, Mike Carlin's, you know, keeping that pizza very close to him so he can eat it as soon as possible here at Hangtime Bar and Grill. But I did want to get it back to the Eagles stuff really quick. And we'll do that in the next hour because I don't want to shortchange it. Because Mike Carlin, for those who didn't hear, he asked the question about why would the Eagles trade A.J. Brown if you don't have a real replacement for him. But I did want to circle back to another point when it comes to this tournament, Mike. And that is, you see how Michigan now is pulling away from St. Louis.
Correct.
And, St. Louis did have a lead in the first half of this game. And I feel like this is kind of where the college tournament is going, which is I think you're not going to see as many upsets long term in the tournament anymore because the collection of talent at the bigger schools
being spread out.
There's too much talent only going to the bigger schools because they have the NIL budgets, they have the boosters, they have the amenities. You mentioned High Point, like a country club, right? Mm-hmm. Well, not every school can be High Point. There's a lot of schools that, no offense to them, but, St. Louis doesn't have High Point's campus. You have a school, for example, like Troy. They don't have a beautiful campus or a beautiful facility or something like that. So, like Dunphy, yeah. LaSalle. Or did you, when Penn was losing yesterday, did you hear the chant from the fans?
No.
So the Penn fans were chanting to Illinois. They were saying, it's okay you're beating us because you'll be working for us. And they turned it into like a singing chant. I remember hearing it. I'm like, what are they saying? It was like, I really pay attention and listen. And then they mentioned on the broadcast, like, oh, yeah, the Penn fans are making fun of the Illinois kids because they're smart and they're going to be business owners.
Penn just had fun.
But the point is that, that's what those schools are known for. A school like Penn is known for their education, not for their basketball. So I do think that, it's nothing against Penn or St. Louis or anyone, but the way that the world we live in now is that, with NIL, you're not going to see tons of upsets like you used to.
Right. Or you're going to have kids that are maybe not 5 stars, but they're 3, 4 stars staying close to home. If that school says, hey, listen, we only have a couple $1 million in our budget, but let's try to keep him at home. He's a homegrown. Let's try. And that number 3-star kid that gets a couple $1 million, they're the ones that all of a sudden, if you put the right people around them, they're the ones that could do an upset.
Or you end up like BYU with A.J. DeBonsa, where you don't have enough talent around him, and you end up losing to Texas in the first round. A Texas team that doesn't have a 5-star guy. A.J. DeBonsa is like a 5-star plus.
He is so good. I mean, he's so good.
But you look at Peterson over at Kansas. He's also going to be a top pick, but Kansas is a much more well-built-out team around him. There were points in that game when Kansas started pulling away, Mike, last night, that, you didn't see Peterson. It's like Peterson almost was like, I could just play defense.
Just being out there.
The threat of me is enough to scare these guys.
He scares me, actually, between you and me.
Yeah?
With all this talk about him not playing, I don't know if he's not playing because he doesn't want to get hurt or he is hurt. But and you were talking about Gonzaga not being there. I don't think Kansas is as good as people think they are.
Right.
When you can go late in the half against Cal Baptist. Cal Baptist late in the game went on an 18-2 run.
There were a lot of Cal Baptist fans out there.
They got back into the game. That showed me right there Kansas isn't ready to move on.
No, I don't have Kansas making a deep run. I have them losing to St. John's in my bracket.
Me too. Come on, Rick. We want Rick. I got a close relationship now with Rick ever since he's been in Atlantic City. I feel like I know him. I can't. Rick, come on, Rick, do it.
My thing isn't that. My thing is I just think that in a world where coaching matters, like college basketball, I just think Pitino's better than Bill Self at putting his guys in a position to be successful. And in the tournament, you got to put the guys in a position to be successful. He's Mike Carlin. I'm Josh Hennig. Hanging with Hennig. Coming up next, A.J. Brown. Will he stay or will he go? We'll get into that next on 97.3 ESPN.
Phillies opening day is almost here. Join us Thursday, March 26th at the Anchorage in Summers Point for an opening day watch party. And you have a chance to win a trip to see the Phillies take on the Orioles at Camden Yards this summer. Listen for our famous contest sounder to enter. You must be present to win. Opening day at the Anchorage. Catch the game. Win the trip. Let's go, Phil.
Listen up. The soap you shower with? It's you probably haven't even questioned what bar of soap you lather up with. Let's face it, most guys don't. But now you can upgrade your shower game with Dr. Squatch Natural Soap. I'm talking about natural, nourishing, cold-pressed, hand-cut soap for men. Men who use their hands. Men who build things. Men who catch foul balls without spilling their beer. You won't just smell good either. Your skin will be healthier and more nourished. We make our soaps with natural ingredients from the earth. Ingredients like oils, plants, goat's milk, Greek yogurt, oatmeal, shea butter, and citrus. Turn your shower game up to 11. Get ready to step out of the shower feeling alive.
Hey, this is Josh Hennig. Go to my social media and click my exclusive Dr. Squatch link for your chance to save $10 off your next order of great natural soap, deodorant, and much more. Only with Dr. Squatch.
Need a new car and have no idea. It's gotta be a matte black Kia.
26 matte black Kia Sportage, $129 per month. All new 27 matte black Kia Telluride, $339 per month. Plus, get up to $3,000 over KBB fair market value for your trade.
Matte black Kia, 6211 Black Horse Pike, Egg Harbor Township.
It's gotta be a matte black Kia.
24-month leases, $59.99 due at site. Call 888-506-4132 for details. Offers don't combine. Expires month end.
Time for March fun. Fill out your brackets and head to Ventnor Social to catch all the live action of the basketball tournament. Watch every game on 20 big screens. Enjoy game day food specials, wing specials, and cold drafts. While you're there, create your own action and play one of the many video games they have on site in their arcade. Ventnor Social is your basketball headquarters this March. Ventnor Social on Ventnor Avenue. Visit their Facebook page for up-to-date info and specials.
Hop in a John Deere Gator XUV for a day's work. Let's see what's on the to-do list. There goes the tree. And the fence. Not a problem. Because you've got a cargo box filled with solutions. Up to 4,000 pounds of towing capacity. And you're ready to roll.
The power's out!
Here we go again. The Gator XUV. Built for every kind of workday. Learn more at johndeere.com/Gator XUV. Nothing runs like a deer.
Go to get your game on at the Fanatic Sportsbook in the Gallery at Ocean Casino Resort. Go where fans become fanatics at the Fanatic Sportsbook in the Gallery. Go to Ocean Casino Resort. Go for the win. For more information, visit theoceanac.com.
Must be 21 or older to wager or consume alcohol. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Home of the Sports Bash with Mike Gill, 97.3 ESPN, WENJ, WENJ HD, Millville, Atlantic City.
Finally! This is Hanging with Hennig.
I have friends everywhere.
On 97.3 ESPN Radio, South Jersey.
In New Jersey. Am I right? Yeah.
Live feed on the 97.3 ESPN mobile app, powered by First Bank of Sea Isle City.
It seems to run on some form of electricity. Well, you're not wrong.
Streaming live on YouTube, Instagram, and the X platform.
The internet is a communications tool used the world over where people can come together.
Now, here's your host.
He's not gone. That's the whole point. He's never gone.
Josh Hennig.
Hanging with Hennig, broadcasting live from Hangtime Bar and Grill here on the White Horse Pike in Galloway. We're going to be here all afternoon hanging out to watch the games, and so should you. You should come out and join us for their app specials like cheesesteak sliders, boneless buffalo chicken bites, loaded waffle fries, spicy cheese curds, and jalapeno poppers. Don't forget about their drink specials for every NCAA tournament game. $3.50 Miller and Bud Light drafts, $14 64-ounce pitchers, $10 tall Tito's vodka cocktails, and the Espolón tequila shot is $8 as well. But you only can get this stuff as well as the freshly made pizza that Mike Carlin tried to house within 5 seconds over here to our left.
He was right. I mean, you literally when you eat, you can definitely. I don't care what kind of pizza person you are.
Yeah.
You can, if you're a real pizza, you can tell the difference between a frozen crust and a fresh crust. When you get pizza like this and you can push down on the crust and it just pops right back up, then you know you have a fresh pie. I mean, that pie right there can be being made.
Well, why don't you hand it to me so I can show the camera again?
Literally,
people watching on YouTube and X.
This could be made in any just local corner pizza shop very easily. I mean, the bottom of it, the crust, I mean, it's perfect.
Alex, what do you think about that?
I'm so jealous that I'm not down there. I grew up in Absecon. I was at Hangtime all the time when I was.
Look at the bottom of that crust. I mean, it is just so good.
Yeah, I haven't eaten today either, so like this is just unreal for me.
I couldn't wait, so I just grabbed it. I said, Josh, how long did it break? 3 minutes. I can get 2 slices in.
Well, Alex, you've been with me at these things. You know, I can't eat during a show. I've got too much going on. So
yeah, and then you make me feel bad because I'm like, all right, well, I'm not going to be the guy who starts eating while Josh is not. So I wait with you.
Well, the reason why we brought you in, Alex, by the way, good job back there in the 97.3 ESPN studios today, producing on the board. I want to kind of get like a roundtable discussion here about the A.J. Brown stuff. Because I think the A.J. Brown thing is interesting because of the fact that, you know, there's a lot of reporting out there. And I mean a lot, okay, from, you know, Tom Curran and Mike Giardi at NBC Boston to Albert Breer of SI. We've heard reports from Jeff McClain, who covers the Eagles, John McMullen from Birds 365. A lot of people who cover the team and cover the NFL, Ian Rappaport of NFL Network, Adam Schefter, they all are expecting A.J. Brown to be traded at some point. And what's interesting is that Mike Carlin asked the question, I think, which is very important, Alex, which is, well, how do you replace him? What do you do if you get rid of him? And I know it's not the answer people want to hear. So I'm going to give my answer. Mike's going to complain about it, and then you're going to respond. Okay? And the folks sitting on the text board is 609-403-0973. By the way, shout out to Ray and EHC. He feels bad for voice to text. Hey, man, voice to text is a pain in the you-know-what. So we all get stuck with voice to text ruining our lives. So Ray and EHC, shout out to you. The reason why you can get away with trading A.J. Brown is 2 reasons. 1, this is a man who doesn't know what he wants from day to day. I think at some point his teammates are going to get tired of being asked questions about him. So if you have a guy who is going to continue to be a malcontent, it's like the idea of Kevin Matullo. You may love your friend working with you, but you don't want him to actually work with you. There's a huge difference. Everyone in that locker room may love A.J. Brown, but it doesn't mean that you want to have him on your team long term. The other side of it is this. A.J. Brown can be replaced. Now, Mike Carlin's going to tell me no, but here's how. You hired an offensive coordinator whose literal background is working in offenses that don't need a number 1 receiver. The Green Bay Packers, the Los Angeles Rams, the San Francisco 49ers. These are Kevin O'Connell with the Vikings. These are offenses that can make number 1 receivers. They don't need. Now, obviously, everyone's better if you have A.J. Brown. He makes everyone around you better. But if you have a guy who's calling plays, who comes from an offense, who knows how to amplify other people, he can take Devontae Smith and make him the number 1 receiver. He can say, Hollywood Brown, you're going to be our new speed threat in the slot. Hey, we're going to draft a guy like a Denzel Boston who's 6'4", 230 pounds, the son of David Boss, who used to play in the NFL, and say, hey, you're not going to be a number 1 receiver. You're going to be one of a cast of characters. And I don't think for 1 minute they re-signed Dallas Goedert just for, hey, we like you. No, they re-signed him because he had 11 touchdown catches last year. And Dallas Goedert probably is going to have a bigger role in an offense that does not have A.J. Brown. All right, Mike Carlin, you heard my position. Go ahead, and then Alex, you can kind of like, you know, be a judge, jury, and executioner here.
What I would say is, first of all, with all the talk about off-the-field stuff that we hear from AJ, ever since Jeffrey Lurie came down and had the one-on-one talk with him, the rest of the season you didn't hear a word.
You didn't hear a word, but he also went out of his way to not talk to the media at the end of the season.
Because he was probably told to. He probably was told that we're done with it.
If I need to tell you to do something, then you're part of the problem.
Well, the rest of the season, he was fine. He listened to the owner to say, shut up, stop talking about it, and move on. Okay, that's A.
Yeah.
B, I love how the offensive coordinator could do stuff without having a number 1 guy. I love that, okay? If I'm him, you know what I'm saying? Look what I've done without a number 1, and now you're giving me a number 1. Wait till you things I can do now that I couldn't do before because I didn't have a number 1. He's going to make them better. There's only a handful of guys from 20 yards in that literally plays like A.J. Brown that can get the ball as a wide receiver.
Sure.
Almost unstoppable, okay? You don't give up a guy like that when you're this year or literally next year. Our window is shrinking as we talk. We have to win within these next 2, maybe 3 years. But I think it's this year coming up and next year. And if you have a number 1 like A.J. Brown already on getting what he wants pay-wise, I don't know how you get rid of him. That simple.
So I do believe that A.J. Brown will be staying. If he's going to get traded, it's definitely going to be after the June 1st thing. The interesting thing were all these sources, they have to be getting it from somewhere.
Right.
I have not heard, other than A.J. Brown week 3 saying, which was reported that he was asking for a trade out. He hasn't said really anything in the offseason, the end of the year, that he wants out. Now, yes, would I like him to go out and say, I want to be in Philly, everything you're hearing online is not true? Yeah, of course. But I honestly think he just doesn't care, and he's like, look, whatever happens, happens. I'm fine staying in Philly. If they want to ship me off, I'm going to go ball out in that market. But Josh, to your point where how he can be replaced, I think the draft for the Eagles and where they're at right now, it's more important to get that offensive line help in that first round. Denzel Boston's a great receiver. I'm not downplaying that. He's going to be a stud. But I think when you have the question marks with Lane Johnson, Cam Jurgens, Landon Dickerson, I think two of those guys, Lane, most definitely this is his last year. Landon Dickerson had thoughts of retirement after this year. I think there's some good offensive linemen in this first round that I think you have to take advantage of. Also, Lane Johnson, if I'm putting money on it, he's going to miss probably 6 games this year. It's just going to happen. His body's beaten up. It's just going to happen. So you need replaceable guys, not like Tyler Steen, Brett Toth, those kind of guys. You need quality guys who are going to be able to learn under Lane Johnson and be that next, generation of great Eagles offensive linemen.
The O-line issue is definitely hyper important. I agree about that. I want to point out something else. So, Alex, you were at Radio Row this year in San Francisco with everybody from 97.3 because all of you guys get to go out and have fun and I don't. So, but you were out there and you and Nick both made an observation I think is very important. I've been using it for the last few weeks here on 97.3 ES. But the fact that A.J. Brown refused to do any media interviews. He went on a couple player podcasts and that was it. He refused to talk to any media at all. But then he's willing to go on Micah Parsons' podcast, willing to go on Gronk and Julian Edelman's podcast and basically say a lot of nothing for 40 minutes. Like from now my perspective, Alex, is that's disingenuous. If you're not willing to talk to the media, but you want to go on player podcasts, that basically tells me that you don't know how to be an adult and just say what needs to be said. Now, you're out there. You're in the environment. Is the environment not – what's the word I'm looking for? Is it not good for a player to talk to the media, or do you think it is acclimating? And do you think A.J. Brown would have gotten ambushed if he got on a show like the Sports Bash with Mike Gill?
Well, not specifically the Sports Bash, but definitely there are shows or reporters that are going to try to get a clickbait answer out of him. But like I said, I just don't think he cares. He's like, I don't have to talk to you because if I go out in a better offense because Kevin Patullo's not running it anymore, I'm going to go ball out and be A.J. Brown. And then all of this hoopla that's being talked about me is going to be not existent anymore. So I think he's just having fun talking to his friends. He also knows what he's doing. He knows that I'm going to go talk to Micah. I'm going to talk to Gronk. I'm going to but not talk to the real people. He knows he's a troll. Nick Earnshaw says it all the time. He's a troll. But I'm fine having that troll if he's really not causing problems with Jalen Hurts, anybody in the locker room, and he's giving me 1,200 yards a year and being a really good receiver for this football team.
He knows that if he goes on the national media, they're going to ask him a question that's going to be on SportsCenter that night. It's because that's just how he is. I don't think he just doesn't hold back. You ask him a question, he's going to answer. I think he goes to these different podcasts because he can control it. He knows exactly before they start that podcast, hey, don't ask me this question. You can ask me this. Everything's controlled.
Yeah, okay? I don't disagree with you, Josh. I think he should be talking to the media. Like when you're an athlete, you have a good game, you want to talk to the media. You have a bad game, you don't want to talk to the media. That's not how it should be. You should do it, but that's just not the way he works.
I will just push back on one thing. It's something that you were saying, Mike, about the fact that he can go to Parsons and say, I'll talk about that, not talk about this, right? This, yes, that, no. But there's a lot of times, and listen, and I'm only reflecting on my experience in doing this, okay? I've been doing this media thing now for over 20 years between newspapers and radio. And by the way, Hanging with Hennig, broadcasting live from Hangtime Bar and Grill here in Galloway for the madness all weekend long here on 97.3 ESPN. Mike Carlin, Josh Hennig, Alex Bavardis back in the 97.3 ESPN studios. We're streaming live on YouTube and X in the Dr. Squatch virtual studio. My experience for many years is I've had many people who have come on to do an interview say, I will talk about this and not this. I've actually had people tell me, send me 10 questions ahead of the interview, and those are the only questions we will talk about. Like, I've had guests, like very high-profile athletes. I don't want to name any, like, I don't want to get them in trouble, okay? I'm not trying to, because usually it's not the athlete, it's usually like their publicist or agent
Yeah,
or something like that who they want to control the narrative, right? But, you know, I have specifically spoken with NFL players, NBA, NHL, professional fighters, and they have said to me before the interview starts, do not ask me about this. Or I've been in situations, here's the flip side of it, because Alex, you're a producer, you've had to deal with getting guests, I've had to deal with getting guests, okay? Carlin, you helped us get Fran Dunphy today, which we appreciate, you getting the Hall of Fame coach. There's times that the guest or their handler says, don't ask this question, and then the host goes ahead and asks the question, and then you end up having to walk through the hellscape that is the manager or the agent or the player raking you over the coals, okay? So I will say that if A.J. Brown wanted to control the narrative, he doesn't have to go on Micah Parsons' show to control that narrative. He could find a media person. Like, I'll use a specific person, for example, okay? I'll use two. You know what? Let's be fair, okay? I know Jeff Mosher from Inside the Burst podcast very well. And I know Derek Gunn, who's covered the Eagles for a very long time. Those are two individuals who are hyper-professional. I guarantee you if A.J. Brown's people said, we want you to interview our guy, ask certain questions so we can get a certain message out there, they could do it. But I think the problem is that the players, and this goes back to something I've been told off the record by other people, so I don't want to name any names. I have been told that there's a group of players in this generation that come from Alex, your generation, okay? You guys don't need traditional media to get your message out, right? You got YouTube, you got X, you got TikTok.
I was going to mention, I think this honestly might be a more common thing. As like we saw Puka Nacua at the end of this regular season. He was going on live streams, doing some questionable stuff on those live streams.
Yep.
But I do think all these young, like Jared McCain has millions of followers on TikTok doing his dances and everything like that. I think it could just be we're getting into that new wave where social media, the guys who are in the league now grew up with it as opposed to, you know, the guys in the league are just now getting used to all that kind of stuff.
You just said something at the end, get used to. That's an important part of this as well, because some of these athletes, they didn't go through high school and college with this level of media coverage and scrutiny. Is it maybe possible that part of the, and I'm saying this delicately, the mental health things that A.J. Brown has talked about in the past, is this maybe part of it? Does he have anxiety? Or, you know, does he have some sort of something that goes on during these interviews that causes him to overthink or maybe say the wrong thing? And, you know, sometimes if you have a level of anxiety, it can be debilitating. You know, it can be something where maybe he's afraid that he will say the wrong thing and he thinks he has no control over it.
You asking me?
Yeah.
I'm not big on, don't get me wrong, I don't want to get in trouble with this. I know there's people that have anxiety, but sometimes I think there's people that use that as an excuse when they really shouldn't be using that as an excuse to the true people that really do have anxiety problems. And if you do have problems, then that's why we have doctors and that's why we have medicine.
Right.
But I think there's people that lean on it. As soon as one little thing goes wrong, it's, oh, I got a problem. My anxiety was what took over and stuff like that. And I just think that's getting worse and worse when it comes to that, just as an excuse when it shouldn't be an excuse, because there's people that really, truly do have anxiety problem. I'll just say that.
I will also say that it's, just to go by the professional athletes, you know, guys like Kevin Love and others, they have shown that they can have intense levels of anxiety and depression and things, and they still function at a high level as athletes.
That's a great name to talk about.
They just, they just handle their business when no one is watching. You know, when no one is looking, and they kind of like, listen. I know of people personally who what they do is they'll be like, hey, I'll be back. I need to go, quote unquote, I need to go to the bathroom, and they'll like go like have like they'll go through what they got to go through so they can come out and handle their business. Alex, what is your take on that?
I think A.J. Brown, he has that one really famous press conference when he was in Tennessee where he was talking about, some of the lowest points mentally that he's been in his life. And I just think maybe, because I'm not speaking for A.J., I have no idea, obviously, that's just his way of dealing with it. Just saying, you know what, when I get peppered with all these questions, all this hate from the media and stuff like that, it really takes a toll on me. And I don't want to go back to that spot that I was in years ago that I got out of. So maybe it's just him saying, look, I'm just taking my hands off and saying, you guys do what you want. I'm just taking myself out of the situation for my own mental clarity.
And maybe that's what the owner said to him in a nice way. Okay, maybe he's sticking up for him, saying, hey, listen, I know you're under a lot of pressure. I know they're peppering you with questions. Maybe just take the break from the media and let's just play football. And that's what he did the rest of the year.
Listen, the whole thing, I don't think there's a clear right answer on the A.J. Brown stuff, but I just feel, and again, this is my position, that if he's in the kitchen and he can't handle the heat, then maybe he shouldn't be in the kitchen. Maybe his time is come and gone in Philadelphia. Maybe he needs a new fresh start. Maybe Philadelphia needs a new fresh start. And, if so many teams keep calling the Eagles about him and someone eventually offers the Eagles what they want and they trade him, we have to understand there is a reality.
What would you trade him for? How many ones you need?
Well, so the reporting.
Don't tell me 1 and a 2 or 1 and a 3. Well, he's better than that.
The reporting is that the Eagles want the Devontae Adams package in return for him.
So at least 2.
So the Devontae Adams package, when he was traded, he was 2 years older than A.J. Brown, and he was traded for 2 top 100 picks, 1 first round, 1 second round. I think part of the problem is that the Eagles are trying to see if they can get more than that, and other teams are pushing back. According to people like Ian Rappaport and Adam Schefter, they have said that teams basically have been hesitant to trade more than a first-round pick for A.J. Brown because of his injury history. But not the mental health stuff, the injury history with the hamstring. Go ahead, Alex.
But I think Howie, more than anybody, knows exactly where A.J. Brown stands. So I think he knows if I'm not getting the offers that I want and A.J.'s not, banging at my door saying, get me out of here, I'm fine. He's a great football player. I'm keeping him on my offense.
Yeah.
And I think A.J., I am putting a lot of stock in the whole Kevin Patullo thing. I really am. I think how bad that offense looked last year. Yeah. He's a diva wide receiver. There's no doubt about that. All these number 1 receivers are.
And really quick, also, everyone was so scared to talk negative about Patullo. They all liked him as a person. Everyone loved him as a person, as a guy, and everything. And it was like they were all scared to say anything negative about him, to hurt his feelings. The whole report with Kevin Patullo calling Ryan Fitzpatrick and saying everyone's so hard on me and mean to me. It's like this dude obviously was not built for this job.
Well, and being in Philly.
Or being in Philly,
Philly
right?
or New York, there's just certain cities where you got to be ready for what's coming at you.
Yeah, Jacksonville could have been a perfect spot for a guy like Kevin Patullo, but
he's in Miami now, by the way.
Yeah, he'll be perfect down there.
Yeah, exactly.
He'll be perfect down there.
But yeah, I think Howie just knows, and I do think hopefully Shawn Mannion can put out a better product, which shouldn't be that hard to scheme up a route tree for A.J. Brown to make him successful. So I think they're just going to have to see this thing through. I think he's staying in Philly.
Me too.
Well, Mike, you mentioned the old school kind of players. Coming up next, we will talk with one of those older school kind of players. Shawn Mannion will join us coming up on the other side with his perspective on the NFL offseason and a player's perspective on, think about this for real quick. Just chew on this, and he'll give you the answer on the other side. How do players view coaches and owners when it comes to free agency? Shawn Mannion will tell you Merriman will tell you about it. Shawn Mannion played in the NBA. Shawn Merriman played in the NFL.
Correct.
Man, I am just mixing up everything today here on Hanging with Hennig. But I'm not mixing up where I'm at. I'm at Hangtime Bar and Grill on the White Horse Pike in Galloway with all the 30 TVs, with all the games on.
Bar's filling up here, Josh.
The bar is filling up, but there's still room for people to come on down and join the party here at Hangtime Bar and Grill. Hey, don't forget Hanging with Hennig on 97.3 ESPN, being brought to you by Caesars Sportsbook, the only sportsbook app with Caesars rewards. The action's heating up on the court, and there's no better time to start betting like a Caesar. Every bet during the tournament earns you perks on hotel stays, bonus bets, game tickets, and more. What are you waiting for? Download the app using my promo code, RADIO, DYW, and place your first bet of $1 or more for a chance to double your winnings on your next 10 bets. See Caesars.com/promos for full terms. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, please call 1-800-GAMBLER. Coming up next, NFL All-Pro edge rusher Shawn Merriman joins us here on Hanging with Hennig on 97.3 ESPN FM, the 97.3 ESPN mobile app powered by First Bank of Sea Isle. And we are streaming live on YouTube and X at 973 ESPN. Looking for a great happy hour or night out with friends and family? Hangtime Bar and Grill, located on the White Horse Pike in Galloway, has live music every Tuesday night, DJ bingo every Wednesday night, and check out their 30 TVs to watch your favorite team play any time of year. Enjoy all the college basketball tournament action in March with food and drink specials at the main bar, or check out their new private back deck patio. Check out Hangtime Bar and Grill on Facebook and Instagram to learn more about their weekly specials and one of the best happy hours in South Jersey. On the White Horse Pike in Galloway at Hangtime Bar and Grill.
Making your home look brand new is what Work of Art Construction can do for you. Ready to remodel your bathroom or have a kitchen makeover? Art Masker has 40 years of experience in construction and knows how to make your home look like a work of art. Want to install a new back deck or invest in a new front door? Just call Art Masker at 609-788-4271 to learn more. Visit Work of Art Construction on Instagram to see how Work of Art Construction can make your home look brand new. Beautify your home with Work of Art. Call him at 609-788-4271 and let them make your home truly a work of art.
Need a new car and have no idea. It's gotta be a matte black Kia.
Spring out of your old car and spring into a new matte black Kia for less. 26 matte black Kia Sportage LX, just $129 per month. 26 matte black Kia K5 GT line, just $139 per month. All new 2027 matte black Kia Telluride, $339 per month. Drive now and pay later with zero payments for 90 days. Plus, we'll pay you up to $3,000 over Kelley Blue Book fair market value for any trade in any condition. Have a job clearing $450 per week? Matte Black Kia wants to get you approved today. We sell more, so you save more.
Matt Black Kia, 6211 Black Horse Pike,
Egg Harbor Township, or matteblackkia.com.
Need a new car and have no idea. It's gotta be a matte black Kia.
24-month leases, $59.99 to its signing. Call 888-506-4132 for details. Interest accrues from date of purchase on select models. Offers don't combine. Expires month end.
If you owe back taxes, listen carefully to rule number 1. Never go up against the IRS alone. They're cracking down, freezing bank accounts, garnishing paychecks, canceling passports. Even your home or business could be at risk. But here's what they don't tell you. The IRS has powerful tax relief programs that could save you thousands if you qualify. That's why smart people call Optima Tax Relief, America's #1 tax resolution firm. Nobody knows these programs like the experts at Optima. Their team of tax attorneys and licensed professionals have resolved over $2 billion in tax debt for people just like you. The IRS is not stopping, so don't wait, and don't take them on alone. For tax help you need, for tax help you can trust, call Optima today for a free consultation.
Call 800-705-9484. 800-705-9484. 800-705-9484.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Go to get your game on at the Fanatics Sportsbook in the Gallery at Ocean Casino Resort. Cheers your favorite drinks while cheering on your favorite team. Go for the sports scene and go for the endless screens. Go where fans become fanatics at the Fanatics Sportsbook in the Gallery. Go to Ocean Casino Resort. Go for the win. For more information, visit theoceanac.com. Must be 21 or older to wager or consume alcohol. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-923-6829 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-923-6829. That's 800-923-6829. What do you have to lose? Call 800-923-6829. Again, 800-923-6829.
50 years from now, will jeans be wide or skinny? Will email still exist? Will guac still be extra? One thing is certain. If you won the new Millionaire for Life from the New Jersey Lottery today, you'd still be getting $1 million every year for life. That's enough money to say, bring it on, the future. I will have that guacamole at any price.
Play the new Millionaire for Life today. Anything can happen in Jersey. Must be 18 or older to buy a lottery ticket. Please play responsibly. If you or somebody knows a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Now back to Hanging with Hennig on 97.3 ESPN FM.
Boy, that escalated quickly.
And on the 97.3 ESPN mobile app, powered by First Bank of Sea Isle City.
I mean, that really got out of hand fast.
Streaming live on YouTube, Instagram, and the X platform.
Josh Hennig back here on 97.3 ESPN FM, the 97.3 ESPN mobile app, powered by First Bank of Sea Isle. We are streaming live, as always, in the Dr. Squatch virtual studios. And joining me is one of the best pass rushers of the 21st century. You know, for those who don't remember, for a 3-year period, Shawn Merriman was like the apex pass rusher for then the San Diego Chargers. Shawn, how you doing? Welcome back to the 97.3 ESPN.
I'm doing well, man. How you doing?
I'm doing good. You know, I got to ask you this, because as someone who played in the league, there's so many guys right now in this free agency who are signing 1-year contracts. Like usually, you know, guys, when they get a little security, right? They want the 3-year, the 4-year. What is your perspective as a guy who played in the league? Why so many guys are signing 1-year deals this offseason?
Well, because teams are trying to win now without making a long-term investment, right? So take for example, if you're a team right on the cuffs and you bring in a pass rush, you bring in a big wide receiver, you bring in a guy who can help you win right now, but you're not committed to a long-term deal. It actually works out for both sides, because guess what? If that player goes out and performs, he can go sign another, 2 or 3 year deal somewhere else. Get in. I'm telling you, the whole goal of this thing is to get in and out of deals, right? Get a contract and then position yourself for a longer, bigger term contract. But show yourself, right? Prove yourself that you can go out and play. But man, it's for a lot of these teams who are right on the cuffs that need to win right now, because mind you, when you talk about those times back in the day and what it is now, these coaches, they don't have time. They don't have time to regroup again. You win right now, you're out the door.
You mentioned about winning now and out the door. You know, one of the conversations we have in our area, that, obviously this is NFC East country, Eagles, Giants. You just saw the Giants finally bring in, no offense to previous guys, but a guy who has real experience, right, Shawn? Someone who is John Harbaugh. And in Philadelphia, you still have a contingent of people who are wondering, is Nick Sirianni going to keep his job for how long? Like, doesn't that speak to, in some way, the temporary nature of the NFL, right? That you have a guy in Sirianni who just won a championship a couple of years ago, and now people are wondering how long he's going to keep his job.
Yeah, and that's the scary part, right? We always knew as players, NFL stood for not for long. So if we didn't perform, we knew we were gone. It's kind of trickled up to the coaches now, where you got coaches that, like you just said, just won a championship a couple of years ago, and it's a very, what have you done for me lately? And we're going to start seeing more of that, because there's so many young up-and-coming coordinators, right? Take like a Kubiak from Seattle, or take a Ben Johnson, who was in Detroit, now winning out in Chicago. So you can go around the league and look at these young up and coming coordinators. Now you look at these head coaching jobs. they're up for grabs after a couple of years because there's so many opportunities for these young up-and-coming coaches to get an opportunity. So, again, man, we haven't seen anything like this, and that's why you're seeing these short-term deals happening over the course of time.
Talking with Shawn Merriman, of course, he was the first-team All-Pro with the San Diego Chargers, one of the best pass rushers of the 21st century, joining us here on 97.3 ESPN. You mentioned as a former player, what does a player look for in a coach? Like, explain to the audience, because you know how it works. You got commentators on TV, and they're spouting their mouth about what a coach is or isn't. But as a player, what matters to you when you walk into those meetings, when you go to those practices?
You know, I just talked about the coordinators and how they're up and coming. Well, the difference from a coordinator and a head coach is a head coach is a manager of everybody, right? Like, there's no going into an offensive team meeting room and staying there all day or defensive team meeting room and staying there all day. You have to manage the entire team, entire staff, entire situation. So that's why you see some of these coordinators that are really great coordinators and they go and try to be head coaches. They're not good head coaches because they're not a manager of everybody, right? And manage a practice schedule, manage his routine, manage, what happens on what day. And some of these guys aren't that great at doing it. Now, I always preferred a Sean Payton. I always preferred a Marty Schottenheimer. I love those old school coaches, but it's kind of going away from that now. That's why you saw seeing a lot of these older coaches are gone. Mike Tomlin, who's had you can talk and say whatever you want to, but he had a great career. He had a great body of work and what he's able to accomplish in the National Football League. But you're starting to see a lot of these older coaches not be there anymore because you need to have some sort of relationship with players. It's never been that way, right? Where you have to be more of a player's coach, understand these younger guys the way they operate now in order to get the most out of them.
You mentioned about Mike Tomlin. I feel like Tomlin, you're right. He is symbolic of the kind of guy that, I'm not trying to cast aspersions, but I feel like certain team owners are, I'll say it. They're almost afraid of them. They're almost afraid of the strong personality coach, right? Is that a fair assessment that it feels like some of these team owners, they are almost like they don't want to bring in somebody who's going to put their foot down?
Yeah, for sure. I don't know if you remember I don't know if this is true or not, but the rumor about Vrabel being too big, right? Or too voiceful in the building, that was like, yep. It came across he was scaring staff. I mean, I don't know what all that means. Maybe it might have been a rumor, but again, when you have somebody who comes in the door and requires a lot, a team owner can possibly say, "Look, we don't want somebody in the building with that much control. Period. We don't want somebody coming there saying, hey, they're going to have." They're going to have authority over the draft picks. They're going to have authority over personnel. They have authority on a lot of these things. And the team owner, I believe that's why, Bill Belichick doesn't have a job in the NFL. When he took that visit down to Atlanta, from what I understand, he was asking for everything in the kitchen sink.
Yep.
So, you got a young up-and-coming coordinator that is probably not going to require a whole lot because he wants to get that head job. So he doesn't have the resume to go to a team owner or a general manager or whoever is there and say, look, this is what I want. And so, again, they're just getting in the door. They don't have that kind of leverage just yet until they start winning games and they take control over more things happening in the building. So, yeah, absolutely. That's why you're seeing a lot of these coordinators hired at the head coaching position, because a lot of the other guys, if Mike Tomlin gets hired somewhere else, you think he's not going to come in there and say, hey, I want authority over who we draft, who we can let go, who's in the front office. There's a lot of control that a team has to give up with a experienced coach.
Yeah, my perception, again, I never played in the league. Obviously, you can see me. But, I'm a little too short. Shawn, I'm a little too short to have played in the NFL. But for me, I look at it from the outside in as, you hire somebody, maybe not for, literal, put your fist down control, right? But it's the idea that, Mike Tomlin has probably seen more football and he's forgotten more football than the person he's talking to even knows. And these owners, no offense, some of them, they're just very rich people who are good businessmen. They don't know football. And that's where the weird dynamic is, because you see some of these organizations, and you can speak to this better than I can. You played for the Chargers, you played for the Bills. Certain organizations, you can tell they're well run. The owner says, hey, I'm going to hire you to do a job. And you have other owners who like to meddle and like to be in control of their little toy.
look, being a business owner myself, being rich doesn't make you smart. It makes you you know how to hire, right? You know how to hire the right staff, assemble the right team, and the job for everybody in that building is make the owner look good. That's what it is. And again, because of some of these owners, I'm not going to say all, because you got some owners that are really hands-on and know everything that's going on from the front office all the way down to what's in the playbook. I mean, you got some of those owners that know everything, but you have some that's pretty much hands-off, that's relying on these experts, right? A general manager comes in and he brings his people in who he thinks that it could rebuild that organization. We've seen it firsthand with the Chargers, them hiring Joe Ortiz coming in, and what happened. You got Jim Harbaugh, and they start building that whole staff and created this mindset that they wanted the team to have. And so, yeah, being the owner, you have to make those decisions to bring in the right staff, and you're just taking advice from who you think is the expert in their field, and that's the way this thing works.
Shawn Merriman joining us here on 97.3 ESPN. Speaking of the Chargers, of course, he was the Rookie Defensive Player of the Year, All-Pro, pass rusher with the Chargers back in the mid-2000s. Speaking of owners and how they handle the team, one of the things that the Eagles owner, Jeffrey Lurie, gets complimented on is how he's willing to give guys money up front. He's willing to give, big signing bonuses to alleviate the cap on the back end. And I think what's interesting in Philadelphia is that, you see how some of the former players, they speak so highly of the owner. And I think that's a very interesting thing because, not every team has an owner where the players, you see Robert Kraft with the Patriots, he's another one, where these owners, they are a topic for the players to say, I enjoyed working with being in that organization.
No, 100%. And it changed the way guys perform. I'm not, to be quite honest, when you have an owner that cares about you, and we all understand this business, right? You get cut, waived, traded. That's a part of the game, but it's also a way of how you do it, right? And, when you see guys cut right before training camp, well, guess what? The owner in the front office may be giving that guy a shot to go get another team instead of cutting him, right, somewhere at the end of training camp where the roster's filled up. So we all understand that it's the business side of things, but you will, and I know for sure, and I'm speaking from experience, you will go overboard or run through a wall for a front office and a team and a head coach that cares about you.
Yeah, like, for example, we saw Jason Kelsey in our city, how he spoke so highly of Howie Roseman, the GM of the Eagles. You were mentioning about the old school coaches. I want to get back to that for a minute because, the Eagles have one in Vic Fangio as their defensive coordinator. And I think one of the more interesting stories about the Fangio situation in Philadelphia is showing the young players. The young guys, the Jordan Davises, those guys, they embraced the hard coaching. They believed in it. And now you see Jordan Davis get that big contract extension this offseason. You see him go and lose 30 pounds and become a leader in the locker room. What does it say to you that you have the young generation saying, no, I like this old coach. I like this hard coaching?
I love it. I love it. And, I'll use this situation, not really to poke at Russell Wilson, but when Russell Wilson left Seattle and he had a different head coach, right? Different style. And he went down to Denver. You're talking about two ends of the spectrum, right? Because Sean Payton is going to be up in your face. He's going to be on you. He's going to, he's going to challenge you. He's going to say things that maybe get under your skin. And if you can't take it, you're not going to perform there. But I also think that, that's why he's much different than a quarterback they got now. You see them several times on the sideline go back and forth at each other, right? And it's respect level. So I appreciate the younger guys that still want to be coached hard because it's already, and I hate to say this, not soft, but, these guys put on pads, 10 times a year during the season. Practices are much different. So, having a coach that will kind of put his foot down when necessary, or that you got to go and perform for and get things done, or there's going to be consequences. I think that trickles down to just the discipline and respect you have in the locker room and the rest of the team.
Is there a guy in today's NFL, let's say that so I'm going to create a scenario. Let's say we stole Wolverine's ceiling factor, injected it into Shawn Merriman, and Shawn Merriman has 1 year to play left in the NFL. Who would you want to come back and play for in today's NFL?
There's a few coaches. I could definitely play for Jim Harbaugh. I think he still has, that both Harbaughs. I can play for both of those guys. Sean Payton, I can play for coaches like him, and there's several coaches I can play for. But again, I can play for anybody because neither style bothers me. But you have some guys who are not built that way, that needs a certain level of coaching. You can't get on them in certain ways without them kind of tucking their head and tucking their tail and can't go out in there perform and function because the coach just ripped them. So I can play for anybody, but again, I wouldn't mind playing for the old school coaches at all.
Who's a quarterback in today's NFL that as a pass rusher you look at and you say, you know what, I really would love to hit that guy. Not because you hate the guy, but because it's almost like an accomplishment to get that guy down.
The same. So back when I played, I've always had that badge of honor that I got after Peyton Manning and Tom Brady and Ben Roethlisberger. Nowadays, I would have to put Patrick Mahomes up on that platform because I would love to get after him. He's such a great quarterback. And he's going to go down as a Hall of Fame and one of the best to do it, man. But his competitive spirit that he has would drive me crazy. Like, I love watching him and Max Crosby go back and forth with each other. I love that because there's a respect level between the two.
You mentioned about Peyton Manning. I think it was the NFL Films thing where they caught you hitting Peyton one time with the Colts. And, Peyton basically criticized you for maybe hitting him a little too hard. And you were like, well, I got to hit you hard. I got to stop you from throwing that ball.
Yeah, it's crazy enough. Man, every time I see Peyton, I go up and give him a big hug, man, and I just enjoy playing with him and playing against him, and also too being around him, seeing what kind of person he is away from the field. And it kind of brought everything together, man, because he was so knowledgeable, he was so smart. I think his nickname was the general, right? I mean, he just took such charge, but there's only one way to get him on the ground, and that's normally as hard as I possibly could. So.
Yeah, he's not a small guy, right? He's not one of these, you see some of the guys in today's NFL like Kyler Murray, it's like, you hit him, you're probably going to break him, whereas Peyton Manning, you got to hit him, or a Ben Roethlisberger. I mean, that's a big dude right there.
Yeah, man. I mean, what's crazy is back when I played, you either had one type of quarterback or you had the other. The Josh Allens and Justin Herbert, these guys, they didn't exist. You had Tom Brady, who was more of a stable quarterback. Peyton Manning was stable. Ben Roethlisberger is probably the closest one who can stand in the pocket or can get out the pocket and still be just as accurate and hurt you with his legs as well. But man, it's a tough, it's a different ball game now than it was then. And Max Crosby, Von Miller, and Cam Jordan, they have this sack summit that they do in Vegas every year. Last year I went out there, I was coaching up some of the younger guys. And I just saw how the game changed, how they pass rush, how they view, how they share information. Because back when I played, we didn't want to tell nobody nothing, right? We wanted all the sacks. We wanted to lead the sacks. We didn't share anything. They share information, and they just push each other to kind of get better.
Shawn, before we let you go, and I appreciate your time today here on 97.3 ESPN, why don't you tell everybody what you're up to in your post-football career? You mentioned how you're a business owner. I know you're involved in the combat sports world, so tell everybody about what you're involved in. Yeah,
we got some more big announcements coming. I got a huge announcements coming more in the combat sports space. As you know, I was the founder of Lights Out Extreme Fighting. MMA in particular, but combat sports is so global, right? I mean, the NFL will always be king here in the States. When you start getting outside the States and some of the regions like South America and over in Asia and other places, I mean, combat sports is king. Everybody in this world love combat sports. So we got some big announcements coming as well.
And for those who don't know, that was actually the initial opportunity you and I talked years ago is when you launched Lights Out. You and I had the conversation about it. So we'll have you back on when those new announcements drop. He's Shawn Merriman, of course, one of the best pass rushers of the 21st century, all-pro with the Chargers. And he joined us here on 97.3 ESPN. Great stuff today, Shawn.
Thanks, man. Thanks for having me.
Such a cool conversation there with Shawn Merriman, of course, former all-pro NFL edge rusher, one of the best in the mid-2000s for the injury bug caught up to him. Josh Hennig at Hangtime Bar and Grill in Galloway on the White Horse Bike, hanging with Hennig. It is the weekend of the madness. All the college basketball, men's and women's games on the 30 TVs here at Hangtime Bar and Grill. Josh Hennig, Mike Carlin, Alex Bart is back at 97.3 ESPN Studios. We'll wrap up the show coming up next here on 97.3 ESPN FM, the 97.3 ESPN mobile app powered by First Bank of Seattle City. And we are streaming live on YouTube and X in the Dr. Squatch Virtual Studios.
Lanier in transition, hits the three. Now with 5, he drives on Maddox. Right elbow and 3, spins to the foul line. Jumper up and it rattles in at the buzzer.
Don't miss any of this year's action on the road to the Final Four with Westwood One's exclusive coverage of the men's NCAA Tournament.
Listen to the NCAA Tournament second round action on 97.3 ESPN. Later today, coverage begins at 3 p.m.
Catch all the college basketball tournament coverage on 97.3 ESPN. Brought to you by the New Jersey Lottery's Millionaire for Life.
Tired of cooking and planning all of your meals each and every day? You need Prevail Nutrition to simplify your life. For almost a decade, Prevail Nutrition is a local meal prep company located in South Jersey that allows customers to design their own meal plan. Or you can choose from a wide variety of chef-designed meals on their weekly changing Prevail Selects menu. You can order online for pickup or get free delivery on orders of over $50. Prevail Nutrition delivers to Atlantic and Cumberland counties along with Ocean City. Or you can pick up your meals every Monday and Friday. Learn more about how Prevail Nutrition can simplify your life. Visit their website at prevailnutrition.club. Check out Prevail Nutrition on Facebook and Instagram. Prevail Nutrition is my go-to choice for prepared meals and food. Order online, like me, at prevailnutrition.club.
For 23 years, we've helped athletes at all levels at Clemic Performance Method, from youth to pros, increase maximum velocity, acceleration, vertical leaps, and general physical preparedness. We offer youth, high school, and pro college classes. Our proven results have earned national recognition from NFL coaches, sponsors, and a feature on ESPN Radio's Sports Science segment. You can contact me directly at 609-742-6190, or as always, visit us on our website, ClemicPerformanceMethod.com.
If your bracket doesn't turn you into a millionaire, the New Jersey Lottery's new game, Millionaire for Life, just might. Catch all the college basketball tournament coverage on 97.3 ESPN. Brought to you by the New Jersey Lottery's Millionaire for Life.
Winter storms can change the road in an instant. When the unexpected happens, you want the area's top-of-mind high-end collision specialist. Moppert Brothers in Northfield is trusted to restore luxury and performance vehicles to exact factory specifications. Manufacturer certified by Mercedes-Benz, BMW, Ford, Tesla, and Polestar, their team uses advanced equipment and precision craftsmanship to protect your investment. After the storm, choose the name drivers have trusted for decades. Moppert Brothers of Northfield.
Time for March fun. Fill out your brackets and head to Ventnor Social to catch all the live action of the basketball tournament. Watch every game on 20 big screens. Enjoy game day food specials, wing specials, and cold drafts. While you're there, create your own action and play one of the many video games they have on site in their arcade. Ventnor Social is your basketball headquarters this March. Ventnor Social on Ventnor Avenue. Visit their Facebook page for up-to-date info and specials.
AI can turn your lights on and even write your kid's essay. But AI isn't going to make sure your home's air conditioning is ready for spring temps. There's nothing artificial about the peace of mind you get with a professional AC tune-up from HomeServe. And having a local expert technician service your system just $89 for a limited time is quite intelligent. Offer ends April 15th, so schedule today at homeservesj.com.
Service provided by Frank Siderio Jr., Master HVAC R Contractor License Number 19HC002115000. Plumbing by Louis Silkowski. Plumbing License Number 36B IO129270.
Hold on to your shirts. Actually, forget the shirt. Bert Kreischer is coming to Ovation Hall at Ocean Casino Resort with his Permission to Party World Tour, Friday, April 3rd and Saturday, April 4th. You've seen him on Netflix. You've heard the stories. Now, live it. Bert Kreischer. No shirt, no shame. All comedy. Tickets are on sale now at theoceanac.com.
Must be 21 or older to wager or consume alcohol. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-923-6829 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-923-6829. That's 800-923-6829. What do you have to lose? Call 800-923-6829. Again, 800-923-6829.
Caesars Sportsbook is the only sportsbook app with Caesars Rewards. Bet the tournament action like a Caesar and earn perks on every game, like hotel stays, bonus bets, game tickets, and more. Download the app using promo code RADIODYW and place your first bet of $1 or more for a chance to double your winnings on your next 10 bets.
Open to new users in New Jersey who are 21 or older. Max bet of $25 for boosted winnings. Max additional winnings $2,500 per bet. Profit boost tokens expire 14 days after receipt. See Caesars.com/promos for full terms. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Now back to Hanging with Hennig on 97.3 ESPN FM.
Who is right? You are an ox and a moron.
And on the 97.3 ESPN mobile app, powered by First Bank of Sea Isle City.
Hello? Get back in the room.
Streaming live on YouTube, Instagram, and the X platform.
Hanging with Hennig, broadcasting live from Hangtime Bar and Grill. Final segment of the show here on 97.3 ESPN. Josh Hennig along with Mike Carlin. Alex Bart is back in the studio. So here's how we're going to wrap up the show. We're going to do one thought on the other three Phillies sports teams, one on the Sixers, one on the Phillies, one on the Flyers. But first, Mike, there's a local connection in the women's tournament coming up. What is it, 4 o'clock is tip-off?
4 o'clock today on ESPN. Coach Steph from FDU playing number 2 seed Iowa. It's going to be a hard game, but you got a couple local girls in that from Middle, from Mainland, from Absegami. I mean, let's give Steph her 2 years in a row now. Taking her team, and she had the longest winning streak of, I believe, 22 straight games coming into the bracket.
Nice.
So let's see what she can do today. I think she's got an uphill battle, but sometimes just getting there is the plus.
All right, Alex, we're going to start with you. We'll do one thought on each team. So you get the Flyers. So, Alex, your thought on the Flyers is?
Just hope for the best for the rest of this year. They could have gone for the tank, which I would have been, really rooting for at the trade deadline. But when you're this far into the season and you're that close to the, a playoff spot, just go for it. Get these younger guys some playoff experience. It's going to benefit us in the long run. And yeah, I'm just hoping for the best, honestly. I really wish I could, say let's tank. Get that high draft pick, or
I don't want them to tank. They should try to keep winning. These young people need to learn that winning is important. You got to go through the tough times to get to the good times. I like the way Tockett's handling this. I like the way the young guys have evolved. I think Drysdale has taken huge strides this year. So I like the direction the team is going in. And just because they don't have a 40-goal scorer doesn't mean they stink. So, Mike Carlin, your thought on the 76ers?
Next year can't come quick enough.
Oh, jeez.
How's that for a thought?
Man, you and Alex are both miserable today.
I mean, what do you want me to say? I almost like what you just said with the Flyers. Play these young guys. Let's see what you really have, and let's ready to retune this team and see who's got to stay, who's got to go, who we got to bring on. But this season has just been a waste, the whole season, and. All right, so they're going to make the playoffs and get knocked out in the very first round.
Listen, I think the story of the season has been VJ Edgecombe. This young man,
great player, has
turned out to be better than almost anybody expected, and I think that to me is the story of the season.
That's why they get rid of McCain. I think they realize that.
They got rid of McCain
because
Nick Nurse is an imbecile, and he doesn't know how to play multiple guard lineups because OKC seems to be able to use him fine. They got more guards than we do. So I think that's a Nick Nurse problem. My Phillies thought is this. I am going to remain positive that the good play that you saw from Harper and Christopher Sanchez and others parlays into a good start to the Phillies season because nothing would be more depressing than the Philadelphia Phillies starting this year sluggish. I want to see them come out and actually play good baseball to start the season.
I think it's going to be our pitching we're going to be talking about from the beginning of the year to the end of the year. Our pitching staff, we don't have to worry no more going into the seventh inning who's going to who's going to pitch for an inning or two. We have someone that's going to be a closer. Our pitching staff overall, I'll put it up against anybody's.
All right, Mike Carlin. So I went 8-4 on the first round of games on my spread and number picks. So let me give you my picks here. You can tell me if you like them or not, okay?
Okay.
So I got TCU covering the 12.5 versus Duke. What do you think?
I like it. Love it, actually.
I got Texas covering the 6.5 versus Gonzaga. I know you like that because you have
written down.
Gonzaga winning outright.
Yeah, I have Texas. I have Texas winning that game outright, but if they're getting 6, take the 6.
I got VCU Illinois over 150.5. I think a lot of points are going to be scored in that game.
That's a great pick too. Yep.
I got High Point covering the 11.5 versus Arkansas.
They were my 2 today. If I had only picked 2, I got the Texas and High Point.
All right, those are the picks. Thanks everybody here at Hangtime Bar and Grill. This is such an amazing place. We'll be hanging out to watch more games throughout the afternoon here. Thanks to Alex back in the 97.3 ESPN studios. Thanks to all of you who listened on 97.3 ESPN FM, watched on YouTube and X in the Dr. Squatch virtual studios. Thanks also to Dr. David Gold from Ivy Rehab for the Ivy Rehab injury report. Thanks to Mr. Big Five, Fran Dunphy, the college basketball coaching legend, for joining us in the 12 o'clock hour. And, of course, thanks to all of my great sponsors, Prevail Nutrition, Work of Art Construction, Caesar Sportsbook. Thank you as well.
Sunday morning in the locker with Billy Schwein, producer Alex Berardis, my twin brother Bobby Schweiman, Erin Ewan joined me in the studio.